I think I am live. Hello, hello, Zen friends. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday to you, Saturday evening, Sunday morning to some of you on the other side of the planet. So glad to have you here. Hope you're having a great weekend full of amazing moments or realizing we're having amazing moments because really we are always having amazing moments, even though we're humans sometimes can't see it, right? I get it. I get it. So before we get started, let's bring in some beautiful love energy. And let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I've turned down the volume a little bit, so maybe it's not as scratchy for some people. Um, so let me know if it's coming through still clear for you guys, and we will see how that goes. So we'll start off bringing some beautiful love energy in from above. Let it flow through us and fill up our being into our brains and our minds and our stories, our thoughts, into our hearts, into our emotions, into our energy centers, all of our chakras, our meridians that run through our bodies, our auras, all that energy into our physical bodies too, to all of our blood and our cells and our bones, all the organs of our body, just to raise the vibration up so we can be at our highest expression of unconditional love energy. Then let it flow out to the world to help it do whatever it wants to do out there too, right? So as we do this, we'll start off by taking a big deep breath in to come back to right here, right now in this moment, out of the future, out of the past. And then if you also want to, as we're hitting the singing bowl thing of one thing that you're grateful for right here, right now in this moment, and just thank the creator for that. That helps raise our love vibration. It also allows us to become a magnet to receive more of the things we're grateful for, but a whole bunch of other receiving, especially messages from spirit. So if you'd like to join me, let's start by taking a big deep breath in. Hold it for as long as you'd like. Don't pass out, please. All right, so here we go. Big deep breath in. Come back to the now. Beautiful. All right, let's begin. Thank you so much. She is singing tonight. Wow. So thank you guys for joining me and doing that. I do love that. Beautiful energy. So welcome everybody. Good to see everyone. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome. I'm brudda-zen. We got a great group of Zen friends with huge hearts and great senses of humor. As we say, two things that are very helpful in this human adventure on this planet. So There's always room for more Zen friends, so thank you for being here. You're welcome to be one of our Zen friends, and it's a safe space. So welcome, welcome. If you want to know how all the readings work and all that, there's a description in the video, or it talks about it in the description box of the video down below. The donations do get first priority. I step out of the free readings, dive deeper, meaning I pull more cards for those. Um, Free readings are generally 1 to 2 card that we pull. If you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat at the bottom or in the description box. I do talk about my Venmo, my Cash App, my PayPal, and Square. However you want to give it, you can. And I don't have set dollar amounts. Whatever you give from your heart is the perfect amount. I know everyone's cost of living is different. The rate of exchange across the world is different. So whatever you give is perfect. I am on for 3 hours. I do always finish all donations same day. Free readings, I only come back on Sundays if whatever I don't finish during a session, it's just gone. But for free readings, but on Sundays, whatever I don't finish in the morning, I do come back on the afternoon and finish everything out. So if you've been trying to get a free reading and we don't get to you tonight, please come back on Sunday. We'll make sure that you get a reading from Spirit sometime during the day. After each session, I do post a pinned comment listing all the readings completed with timestamps, so you can just click on it and it goes directly to your reading. So if you post your question and you need to go live life, I get it. You can come back and check it and see if we were able to get to those. I always put on the top of the note whether I wasn't able to get to any free readings or if I was able to get to some free readings, and then you could just expand. And I do separate donations by free readings, so you can immediately see if there's a free reading section, that those would be the ones I completed for the free readings. Blah, blah, blah. That's all I have to say, I think. I will be using this beautiful Naked Heart Tarot this evening. Here's the side of the box so you guys can see that. It's by Jillian Wild, is the author and maybe artist. I love it. It's a beautiful, simple kind of deck, but I love the colors and just the simplicity of it too. But it's fun. If you make a donation tonight, 1 per person per session, we also have a fortune cookie, and we're going to be getting the Rooted Woman. We still have probably about 20, maybe 15 more of those cards to go. If we get through those, I have another deck standing by that we'll use. And those are what I call fortune cookies, which we'll get to after the reading. So that is the skinny. And so we'll jump into the readings. We'll get the party started here. We do have Nelia Medeiros, ×3 will be up first, and then Maria P. That's all we have for donations right now. So unless more come in, we'll get into some free readings tonight. All right, so Nelia, let's grab your timestamp here. And we'll post that over here too. There we go. So thank you for your multiple donations, the black cat, the hot dog, and the eyes of love. So we'll definitely jump in and see what we have going on this evening. So let us take a look here. So for your first one, thank you, of course, for your multiple donations. So a general for Tuesday, you and Russ's 13.5-hour spa day. Wow. All right. So based on current energies, since we're stepping off into the future, what does it look like right now? How will it turn out? We'll pull that first. Okay. Do we have that underneath the surface, and those as well? So overall, how will it turn out? And then will your conversations make or break us? Are there going to be a significant change to anything there? And anything else Spirit wants to say about it here? Right, and 2 more. All right, let's see what we got here. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Hanged Man coming in here. And the Hanged Man is a transformational kind of energy, cocooning kind of energy. And I like that. It just feels it feels, I don't want to say like super transformational because it feels more cozy than it does. It's just very relaxing, very just kind of laid back kind of energy. Because I don't feel like the caterpillar, I don't feel like the butterfly, I don't feel like the soup of things falling apart. I just kind of feel like the caterpillar being in before they start deteriorating. They're just sitting in there and they're feeling the warmth of the cocoon and, like I said, a cozy feeling underlying your reading right now. So I like that. The portion of how will it turn out, we've got the Innocence of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. So there is new communication, new awareness. I like it. The Tower card coming in here, zap. That comes in. There is the removal, and because of these two coming out together, it's not scary because I feel like this is talking about the removal of some preconceived ideas between the both of you. Like, I wonder if this is what this is, but you get a lot of clarity, which just gives you like a flash of like, oh my God, really? It's like psh, lightning bolt of how, like, and if you've ever been in like in a when a thunderstorm, which we're gonna have some thunderstorms tonight, when it's pitch black out and then here comes this, especially because it's a new moon. If there's like a lightning bolt, it lights things up for a moment. It's like these moments of ahas that I feel comes in here with that tower card. It's not the normal energy of a tower card, but so I like that energy. So it feels like some good enlightenment comes with understanding who each other are, because I feel like you guys do get into some conversations, which we'll find out. We have a special cards just for that too. Underlying energy, you have the Five of Wands. There's this change of energy from conflicting to higher vibration. Not that there's conflicting energy now, but we have the Emperor energy and the Six of Swords. Yeah. Letting go of old ways of thinking, seeing things from a higher perspective. There is moving from choppy waters to calmer waters. So, not that there's like conflict, like arguing and blah, 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 but I feel like it's like the fog when we first were it's the unknown of someone when we're getting to know them more and more. This is that energy of movement of wow, things that I weren't quite understanding about each other. These conversations, I feel, in the day just helps things. Wow, all right, seeing it from a different perspective, seeing it from clear with clarity from a higher place. So it's a good clarity that comes in, not like a uh-oh energy. It's a aha energy. When you ask, will your conversations make or break you? You have Innocence of Wands. It actually takes the attraction, energetic attraction and passion to a new level. And the Three of Pentacles. I like this. This is about being true to one's authentic self. I feel like you guys have like the outline, of like coloring book. We have the outline that we get to know someone in the beginning, and then we start coloring it in. The more time we spend with them, the more things we understand. But of course, our perception and the way we see it may not be 100% accurate because we're seeing through our eyes of our conditioning and growing up. But we start to color in a picture a little more, and it becomes a more, like I said, it's more clear, more colorful. And that's what this Three of Pentacles is the you're beginning to see each other for the true authentic selves that you are, because you're kind of letting down the walls a little bit more, and so you're able to understand more who someone is, instead of everyone in the beginning kind of puts up this is who I am till I start telling you more and more and more, and then we release. This is how we generally start off. Until you get older and then you just don't care and you're just like, hey, this is me, take me or leave me. but so it feels like it more doesn't necessarily extremes, but it does color things more clearly. in a positive way. Again, I feel positive energy coming in with that. Anything else Spirit wants to say? Yeah, the High Priestess. Make sure to step back and have time for you too. It's always good for that. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles too, which is this is a good energy, remembering that your adventure happens in here. And the High Priestess, she goes into our High Priestess temple, which our high temple is in here. Make sure we go in, connect with our higher selves, look behind the veil, dive deep into our own emotions, understand that we are seeing the world from this place, right? Not from high above with clarity. Normally, we're seeing it from inside of us. And that Four of Pentacles is a good reminder as well that when we define ourselves by the outside world, we do feel unstable. And so if we find yourself feeling unstable in any way, realize, oh, that's because I'm defining myself by relationships or situations or things, and those things are unstable. And so that's the turning inside and going, my worth, my experience of life isn't defined by out here. It's defined by in here. So I get to decide that. So I like that for you. I feel like we're going to give you your fortune cookie on this one, because this one feels like the one that's closest to who you are, or the reading's more focused on you at a deeper level. So let's jump in here. So let's take a look here. So we get one fortune cookie per session. So this would be your fortune cookie. You got vision and inspiration. You got mountain energy. Beautiful. So this is triangle 7. Let's see what comes in here. I like that freedom and flying high like an eagle over here. So mountains lend texture and shape to our landscapes and form boundaries between communities and countries. They create weather, influence the flow of bodies of water, and reflect the strength and endurance of the land through all the long ages of the earth. Mountains are formed as a consequence of profound upheavals, right, in the crust, when pieces of the Earth's crust collide, when molten rock from deep inside the Earth erupts through crust and piles up on itself, and when stresses in tectonic plates cause cracking and faulting of the planet's surface. Excuse me. Over the course of many millions of years, wind, rain, ice, and gravity have gradually worn down the surface of the mountains, creating the unique shapes and personalities that they possess today. We talk about the discovering the uniqueness of each other, right? The authentic self of each other. It's not surprising then, excuse me, that mountains should inspire awe, that we should think of them not only as refuges, but as sacred places. The mountain is the place we turn to for vision and inspiration, but it's not easy. I'm sorry, not always an easy ride. After the inevitable difficult ascent, we might become dizzy as we look down from the heights. We might fear the extremity. We might fear being pushed to or beyond our limits. But if we can only hold strong, the reward for our effort is an ability to see clearly and to understand how we might dream our visions into being. This card encourages us to persevere and to dream dreams that are as large and wide as we need them to be. Wow. A lot of stuff we talked about in your reading, amazingly enough. I'm so sorry. Let me take a sip here. I got a little frog, probably because of the storms coming in. All right, there we go. So I love the example that creator, they tell us that we are a perfect mountain, each and every one of us as a soul. And we come down here as humans to explore ourselves, to become little little beings and we walk around exploring who we are. And part of that is the mirroring we get back from relationships with people. So, but I love that about seeing the authentic uniqueness and the clarity that we see from looking from a higher place. So if you go about that on Tuesday and just go, this is about an exploration of who they are. This isn't about me defining myself by them, but what am I picking up? What am I seeing in the mirror reflecting back? Because whatever's bubbling up within me is about me, not about them, right? But you get to learn a lot more about each other if it's not judgmental and it's curiosity, right? So I like that. That's what they have for you for that one. So thank you, Nelly. And then we have the hot dog. You'd like a general on the cast group as a collective for you, how they feel about you. Okay, well, let's hold those and then we'll look at these other pieces. So general on the cast as a collective for you. Okay, we got this. We got this. So just generally towards you as an average collective, because of course everybody sees it differently, which I know you know, how they feel about you as a collective. Okay. And what's up with Chris? He's making you feel awkward. Of course, we'll talk about that. Because we know people can't make us feel anything. They can just do things and then we trigger and feel things. So we'll get clarity on that, I'm sure. And then Dave's thoughts on you today at the Springs Church event. All right, so we got that underneath. Okay, these two underneath. All right. I'm so sorry. We'll get this pipes cleared out here eventually. All right. Bottom of the deck overall, you have the Universe card, which is like the World card. It's the last card in the major arcana. I love that it's a bee, because a bee being part of a hive, being a worker bee, right? We all have the drones and the queen and those that care for the queen and those that go out and collect, those that defend. Everyone has their purpose and their position. So that's interesting. But of course, the World card is about an ending of a major cycle and the beginning of a new adventure. So we'll see what that comes in here. What's the general overall reading here? You got the Innocence of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. It does feel as if there's a new opportunity that's coming up here for you. The underlying energies under this specific card, you do have the Justice card, which brings clarity, brings balance, allows you to see things from a higher perspective, letting some perceptions of your own go. Yeah, and the Five of Pentacles, which is the card of feelings of lack, the fear of being abandoned, left behind, left out in the cold, not being enough, not having enough. I feel like it's more the being enough energy that comes in here. I like this Innocence of Pentacles with this too, because the Page of Pentacles is an energy of looking at your worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way. So this cast has been really good, seeing yourself in all this crazy hall of mirrors, all these different types of mirrors that you're seeing yourself through, right? Because none of us see the world as it is. We see the world as we are through our smudgy little glasses based on our experiences. So everyone sees you completely differently than everyone else, right? Because no one's had the same experiences growing up. So how do they feel about you overall? We got the Hanged Man. You get this card again. Transformation, always in a flux of change. That's good to know, to be aware, to remember. Movement of Swords, Knight of Swords. So that is also a change of mindset, seeing you differently. And the Ten of Swords, the letting go of expectations and more acceptance energy. So I feel like there's just this big flood of change. People are seeing you in a different light, in a different way. there's a lot of energy going on in the world where we're seeing ourselves differently, so we're seeing everything differently. So it feels like this is a lot of internal things that are going on with people, and they're seeing you in a different light, because there's this huge transformation that's happening, it feels like, within the group. And with this change energy here, it's important to know that most people are focusing on what they think other people think of them rather than doing a lot of thinking about other people. The only reason that they're looking at other people is to judge them to see how I'm doing. I need to understand how I feel about them so that I can understand that I'm okay. At least I'm not as bad as these other people. Or, oh no, they're better than me. Oh, there's a lot of that comparison, trying to live up to expectations and energy. But I do feel like there is this change of energy, this change that's going on, with within the group. So I just feel like they're, overall, it doesn't feel like it's bad. It's just realizing that they're all focused in on themselves, and they're like, yeah, 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 I know, Nelia, she's there. Yeah, what about her? That's mainly a lot of people. They don't have like, oh, let me tell you, I've analyzed, I've watched her. Let me tell you my report. I have my little report right here. Let me bring out the folder. No, most people are focused on themselves, you know. So that's an interesting energy. We'll see what else they say here too. Let's find out first here. What about what's up with Chris? He's making you feel awkward. So Chris is going through. He's got some lightning bolt changes that are happening here, in their life. Three of Wands, yeah, there's a change of direction that they're going through here with the Three of Wands and the Eight of Wands. It's a lot of energy that's flowing here. There's a lot of passionate energy, but I feel like they have some huge. It's like their world. It feels like something in their world feels like it's on fire. So they're a bit distracted and not themselves, and kind of in more of a fight or flight mode, because this thing is really a big piece of their life. It is a significant thing that's going on in their life, that's being removed, that, is changing, and they're making these changes in direction in their life. And so their life is awkward, so that's why they're not acting the way they normally do, which, for you, when we're talking about he's making me feel awkward, no, no one can make us feel anything. People just do, they either do things or don't do things, say things or don't say things. And we put a story, and then we choose an emotion soundtrack that we put to the story. So the awkwardness is in here, and I feel like it's coming up because your inner child is seeing that it's picking up the energy. They're not being how they normally are. So, whoop, this is feeling weird. Stranger danger, stranger danger energy that's popping on. But they got a lot of stuff going on. So just realize, okay, I'm just going to allow them to be and go through what they're going to do. It's not about me. My emotions, my triggers that are popping up are for me and about me, not, about, that's, theirs are about them, mine are about me. So it's important to realize that and go, okay, so I'm just picking up some odd behavior. It's different, which our inner child likes sameness. And when something's not the same, it's like, whoa, 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 this is weird. This is different. This is awkward. I don't like this. What's happening? What's happening? I'm feeling things. But those are our feelings, right? They're not going here, eat these feelings. And then they come in here. They're just living. And then we're igniting within us. So something to be aware of with that. And then Dave's thoughts on you today at the church there. Oh, death. The death card. I love that. Two of Swords. So it's not a bad energy. The Two of Swords, um, has it's two ways with this because the two of swords is like two stories or two a decision, and so they're going two different ways, but there's this death and this rebirth energy is about cycles and phases, and it feels like, and we'll look at the underlying energy here too, but that the thinking is, I need to change something, I need to end something to begin something else. And um so this could be, I don't know what this opportunity is opening up here within the group of the Innocence of Pentacles. Because is I feel like for some reason, is Dave in charge? It just feels like there's this energy of, I'm changing things, and they're on your mind with the changes that are there. Let's see if we can get more with the underlying. Ooh, look at this. So this is a card specific to this energy, which is the Naked Heart, which is it really is about creation and following your heart and allowing um like creative expression, walking out of the darkness and into the light. And the Judgment card is a calling card. I like this. And the Seven of Wands, standing out. Um, the Seven of Wands is like being a sun, not dimming your light, not shrinking, but stepping into the spotlight. So it feels like here they might, with these changes, this opportunity, I wonder if they're going to be giving you some sort of role, a stronger role within the group. Um, because they recognize your, maybe your talents and your abilities, and and they feel you have you have untapped talent around something that they can take advantage of or use, or offer you the opportunity to express it. And I kind of feel like that's what's kind of coming in here, and that makes sense with other people too, going, wow, they see these things changing, and that, again, that ending a new beginning. I feel like there's some movement of things, some like I said, it feels like there's some transformation and transition that's going on within the group. So I feel like means that they're impressed with what you're doing and what you're able to do. And I don't know if you organize really well, or something along those lines. I just feel like it's something coming your way here. All right, let me put these back in, and that's what we have for the group. Hopefully that brings you the clarity that you were looking for. And then for number 3, with the emoji with the heart eyes, you'd like a general on Megan and her current boyfriend's relation. Oh, between the two of them. And what's their future like? Anything else Spirit wants to say? All right. Well, I just saw your other messages here. I am doing great. I hope you're doing great. Glad you're here. Missed you too. You and Spirit help keep you grounded. Oh, well, good. What have you been doing out there? Been causing trouble? Nah. If you are, I'm proud of you. All right, let's take a look here. So let's tap into Megan's energy. So general on Megan and her boyfriend's relationship. What can we know about it, please? All right, got this. I do want this one. I do want that one. That one underneath. Sorry, I'm crunching on my cough drop. Wow, they did want all of those. And then, what's their future like is this one. These 4. All right, what we got here? Crunch, crunch, crunch. That should help clear things up. That release of all that eucalyptus or whatever's in it. All right. Well, the bottom of the deck, we do have the Empress energy, which is an energy of Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, following one's heart, but the importance of nurturing oneself and not, and a balance that comes in with that, sometimes, especially the feminine in our cultures, a lot of times across the world, they're taught. You must sacrifice yourself for everyone else. Then, if anything's left over, you get that. And um, no, it's allowing yourself to be nurtured, and then everyone else gets the overflow. And I feel like that's kind of this little nudge to focus in and on that. Let's see what else we have here. So we got the Spirit of Swords, the King of Swords. Next to that, we have the 10 of Pentacles, relationship card energy. Spirit of Swords, the King of Swords, is a lot of, they roll over the sword suit and all kings get a second portion of swords. So there is a lot of thinking, a lot of clarity coming in around what does a relationship mean to me and what do I really want? And the Six of Wands, too. It's a victory card. It's an equal passion card. So I do feel like this is happening on both sides where they're in this, realization of as we're getting used to each other more and more and more. And, kind of like with you and your current love interest, there is this evolution of clarity. And then you're realizing, what am I enjoying? What am I not enjoying? What are my expectations that aren't being met? And that starts our downward spiral, right? We start focusing in on what's not in the relationship, because then we get more, our energy draws in more of the not happening instead of gratitude for what is, and that grows. So they're at this point where things are starting to rise up on what we're not really, about. And so it feels like the honeymoon phase when we're blinded by, what we love about them. When we start calming down, our mind starts analyzing, well, yeah, they're this and this and this, but what about this and this and this? Then we start focusing on that, and it gets bigger and bigger because we're focusing on it. It becomes larger instead of returning back to gratitude. So I feel like that's an important message if you want to pass that along. Yeah, underneath all of that energy that connects us a little further here too in a moment is the Strength card. It is Leo energy. This is about it's leadership energy, but there is this awareness of where I'm investing my energy in, and how none of us want to be caged. The lion energy of freedom, and I don't. It's not like I'm. Usually when we say that, it's like, oh, I want to. I don't want you restriction. I want to be able to do whatever I want with whoever I want. And it's not that. It's I don't want expectations on me, because expectations equal disappointment, and we know where that leads. We just want freedom to be each other and go on our adventure together for as long as we are on our adventure together, not with intentions and this and that. I must know, I have to have a signed agreement, of this is what's going to happen, instead of enjoying things for what it is. And then we enjoy the safari adventure, instead of feeling like we have to check off everything and it feels like work instead of adventure. This lion energy is below the surface here, which leads us to the Two of Swords. There's a little bit of coming to a fork in a road and decisions to be made. And the Four of Swords, which is a good balanced mental energy. If we sleep on the Ace of Swords, letting the expectations go it's like one or the other. I either need to focus on what I love about someone and enjoy it, or I get into the expectation adventure safari. It's not a safari, it's like going to a zoo and looking at all the animals in cages instead of, going free along the path, and um seeing and experiencing it in the wild kind of energy. So I feel like there is a crossroads coming up. We'll take a look here and see what's their future like based on current energies. Yeah, we do have an ending coming up with the Death card, which we kind of feel that with this other stuff coming up. With the Nine of Wands, which is a barrier energy. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is like it's a stable emotional energy, but at some point it feels stagnant. It feels stuck. And then the Eight of Swords. There is an opportunity, though. I like all this. That's like it's headed towards an ending because it's going to feel like we get to a certain point and we can't move beyond it. Unless with this Eight of Swords, which normally you'll see someone blindfolded and bound with a rope, um, kind of semi-circled by swords, which is a trapped feeling. But when we let go of those small T truths, those are the things that blind us. Those are the expectations. As we can let expectations go and we realize this is opinion that I thought should be. This is who they should be. This is who I should be in the relationship. This is how the relationship should be going. This is what I should be getting from the relationship. That's lack energy, which gives us more lack. If I focus on what do I love about who they are in the relationship, what the relationship is bringing me, what do I love about how the relationship is progressing, what I love about who I am in the relationship, gratitude, and love around those things, then we get more of that. And we're like, wow, instead of tearing it apart slowly with focusing on the expectations. So hopefully that makes sense. That's what I feel like we have in the messages for them. So there is an opportunity for them to move beyond those restrictions with those changes. But based on current energies, if we continue on the path of this, then that's where we'll end up, is like all situations with expectations on it. It sucks the life out of relationships and jobs and dreams and whatever. When we start suppressing it with expectations, that's what just sucks. Like I said, sucks the life out of everything. All right. So that's what we have for you, Nelia. So thank you again for your multiple donations. Good to see you again. Enjoy. All right. And let me just give everyone an update. Let me just grab a couple more here. All right. There we go. So up next, we have Maria P. via PayPal. And then we'll jump back over to here to Love and Life 24. Oh, Loving Life to Forever, I think is what that is there, right? And then we have Shanji via the CashApp. We'll circle back for you there. All right. So let us jump in. So Maria P, let's grab your timestamp here. Boom, boom. So thank you for your donation over here. Let me just get over here onto this screen. All right. So thank you for your donation and for the Saturday evening episode of Days of Our Lives. So Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. Okay. There we go. And then after your date, he said he had a lot of drama with her. She accused him of many things, said she will call his job. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see what energy's around that. And he said he will protect you. And then you mentioned about how evil she is. Yeah, we'll see here. All right. And then are you and Walter good? All right, let's take a look here. See what we got unfolding with that there. All right. So, we don't need the bottom of the deck for this. So the Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. So we have the Justice card that's coming in here. So there's doing a lot of thinking with the sword, the Ace of Swords in the beginning, but balancing things out, seeing things from a higher perspective, clearing things away. So they're really in their mind trying to balance everything that is coming through here. But I feel from from his perspective of your relationship with you, that is, he's a lot of clarity coming in because when you get challenged with your relationship, then it really makes you you get a lot of clarity, right? About do I want it or don't I? Is it am I going to protect it or am I going to trash it, right? Am I going to let it go or am I going to grab onto it? And this is it's a positive energy of clarity that comes in with it all. So I do feel like there is quite a bit of a balanced energy that I'm sensing from all this. But they have, this is mind, a lot of mental thinking because there's like a protective wall around their heart with this fire. Alarms go off and it's like you see in the movies where there's a fire alarm and these walls come down to protect, the precious thing. Well, that's their heart. So this walls come up, got to protect it because the dragon is, the fire is coming out of the dragon's mouth. So they have this, protection around their heart, but they're thinking about things, and it feels positive with between you guys because they're like, you know, um, they know what they want, which they want you, right? After your date, he said he had a lot of drama, blah, 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 blah. She gives him many things, said that she will call his job. Nine of Wands. That's a block. That's they're like, so, um, if I feel like they're like, it's okay because there's a wall there, a wall of protection at work where it's like, go ahead and try to create trouble, try to create a whatever. They're gonna see right through it, and they're gonna believe me, not them. And so he's not afraid of that. It doesn't feel like, again, there's like a firewall to protect the virus from getting into that system there. They're like, what can you do? You're going to call him up and accuse him of something. He's not afraid there. There's a wall there. He said he would protect you. Yep, three of wands. I like this energy here. I feel like this is, um, again, there's this rerouting energy. So it's like, um, they'll stand in between anything and not let it be about you. If there's this, you know, whatever this fire is, yeah, nine of wands, three of wands, that they will step in front to, if they're trying to say anything or whatever, they're just like, this is about us, not about anyone else. Don't, do this, Uh, and then you asked how evil is she? The Eight of Swords, prickly rose, a lot of thorns. And it's because there's a lot of fear. It's not about people aren't evil. People either are acting out of love or they're acting out of fear. And when people act out of fear, we put a story of that they're evil. But when someone feels hurt or afraid or scared, when those things get ignited, then that's when the teeth come out, right? We become a hissing cat and hiss and attack, hiss and run away, or hiss and attack and then run away. So there is this defensiveness kind of energy that comes in here. So she's not evil, and if we look and we put out an energy of that she's evil, then we draw in evil things, right? Because we want that story. If we put that story, then we want proof of that, and our life will bring that proof for us. But if we look at it and go, you know, there's fear that ignited within her and she's freaking out, and that's okay. Let her, send love to her if you can, and just let that surround her. Because it's like when a little child is scared and they go around kicking people in the shins because they feel scared and out of control. It's like, all right, we understand that's how we all react. And so I will be evil in a situation. If I'm freaking out too, we all retract back. And that's where, we experience abandonment and things like that. Right. So she's not any more evil. I feel like she just has a lot of fear That's why she's a dragon. She uses her fire to protect herself. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Are you and Walter good? Let's see what is here. Yeah, you got the Nine of Cups. There's still this kind of dream come true energy that comes in with that. So it seems to be fine. What's below here? Yeah, we've got the death and rebirth, and we also have the sage. Both of these are about clarity, kind of like that justice card. It brings in clarity. It brings in significant changes for you guys here. Um, so let's see what's underneath here too. Yeah, it's you have the Nine of Swords, which is nightmare and insomnia card, but the Ace of Pentacles, not I'm sorry, the Page of Pentacles offers new opportunities in the outside world. So there is this, yeah, there's this. We've been talking about it's been slow and he's been trying to ease out because the dragon he didn't want to upset the dragon. Well, the dragon has been upset. So now it's like, I feel like this helps um, move things forward. It helps transformation. The sage, which is the Hierophant, the number 5 with the death card, it's the card of huge change and a rebirth that comes in here too. So it feels here more so that this is like a uh, a blessing in disguise, because it's like, well, if I'm trying to slowly move away from the dragon so it doesn't, set everything on fire. Well, if it and it's setting everything on fire, it's like, well, I don't have to slowly take steps. I can move faster in my steps because of this. So I feel like it's going to end up going to be a blessing in disguise. I feel like you guys are fine. Um, I feel like it's actually going to help you guys in the future. So hopefully that makes sense. As in, separating faster. Because even though I feel like she knew that they're on their outs and they're going different directions, there's this fear that kicks in that overrides logic, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like pain and fear override, and then you just react, you know. Uh, so we have silence and simplicity coming in here for your fortune cookie. And it is the number 9, which is the Hermit's energy. So there might be a little bit of, like we said, momentary pause as they're putting out fires. But it says moorland is characterized by its lack of trees and its low growing, uncultivated vegetation. Usually, moors occupy high ground. They offer us an evocative expanse, a sweeping vista, a sense of remoteness. The combination of elevation and openness means that they're often very windy places. The uncluttered simplicity of the moor makes it a landscape to which we might come to achieve clarity. We can breathe deeply and more easily here in the clear air and the land which sweeps away all the way to the far wide horizon. The cleansing wind clears away mental clutter, breaks down the rigidity of customary thought patterns, frees us from the structures of civilization which both define and confine us. Here's that freedom. Space is created for new insights and understandings. Our imagination is unshackled, released into a timeless, flexible, and magical sphere. The solitude of the moor can sometimes make us feel uncomfortable, but this card invites us to embrace the silence. Here we can learn the art of deep listening and deep sensing. What does the wind have to whisper to you? What patterns can you see in the looming storm clouds? When the jumbled detritus of everyday life is blown away, what remains? And how does that make you feel? Right. So there is a little bit of energy. You had the high priestess on the bottom too. Both of those energies are a little bit of stepping back, evaluating ourselves, realizing again that I am my own person. And this is an important thing because our fear comes up of like, "Oh, what if this blows up and what if they're able to, out of fear, draw them back into the prison, into the trap, into the dragon's lair." If that's what happens, then you're like, thank you for showing me that this isn't meant for me anymore and that I'm okay. I'm going to be fine in one way or another because I'm living my life. But the fear that's drawing in and raising its head right now is to show us, oh, am I defining myself by my relationship with someone? Because if we're afraid something will end, then um, and we're putting a lot of our worth in an outcome, it's a good shake up and a rattle to realize I am going to live and be fine either way. If we stay together or we don't, I'm going to be fine. And sitting in that helps us go, all right, and if this is the fears that they're having you look at, if something happens and they're not in your life anymore one way or another, through death, and not that they're going to kill him, but through whatever may happen, you're going to find love again. Because your life isn't out of control. It is whatever is meant for you will come forward in your life so that you can learn what you're wanting to learn. And I know that's hard when we're like attached to someone. We're like, I don't want to lose them. It's like, if we have to let the teddy bear go, then it's just going to be replaced by a even amazing, more bigger teddy bear. And then they're like, all right, well, if we know that we never lose anything that's meant for us in our life, then we know that it's always an upgrade if anything else comes in. So I feel like it's just important to at least sit with that so that you can come back to a calmer, um, place in your life in this moment. I know. We've been there before. We have all been there before. So, hang in there. All right. But it looks fine. Like I said, I feel like it's a blessing in disguise because it's going to show you it's either because I feel like you've been wondering a lot of does she know, doesn't she know? And how much does she know? And is he really leaving the relationship? And is there really a future for us, right? All those questions. You can admit it now, right? Yeah, I know. It's been on my mind. But this will bring it to a head here. It feels like this is the energy that brings it forward to go, yes, they know they're just being blah blah blah, and but I'm definitely now I'm leaving. I'm out, or it's like, well, I can't hang around with you for a while because she didn't know. And then you're going to be like, oh, wow, the truth comes out. Either way, you get to make your choices, right? And I like that. I like that this is a good place for you because all that stuff that's been bubbling up and bugging you that you've been kind of, now you'll get answers, right? So hang in there. All right. All righty. So that is what we have, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. And then Love and Life, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. So, Love and Life, let's give your donation a love and a like there. Thank you again for your donation. And you want to know, what are you not seeing in the relationship with Joe? Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. So, what are you not seeing here? Hey, good to see you. All right. What is escaping your sight? I would imagine there's not a whole lot because I'm feeling like you're very intuitive. So I feel like the only thing that might pop up here are like, we see the world through the glasses of our own experience. There just might be some smudges on our glasses. I see it, it just might be a little blurry. So maybe just some clarity more so around things than any kind of surprise. But we'll see what comes out here. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is an energy of the mind, sword suit. It is this energy of me becoming aware of my own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that make me feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted. And maybe what you might not be seeing with this being the underlying energy is some long held expectations that that are were bubbling below the surface that you don't realize that these are the things I expect from someone, and so um, that's what we hold people accountable for. So I feel like there's some stuff that's bubbling below the surface. You might be feeling like some discontentment or disappointment, and you're like, why am I feeling this? It's because there's some old expectations that were formed growing up around who someone's supposed to be, should be, who they're supposed to be in a relationship, how the relationship is supposed to go, what it's supposed to bring me. And I feel like there might be just some underlying subconscious old belief systems that are have been raising themselves up. But I feel like that's the only thing so far with that. That's just the underlying. Let's see what else they have here. Got the movement of wands. It's the knight of wands with the justice card. Here's the ace of swords, which helps you, and the scales, which helps you balance out seeing things from a higher perspective, releasing some long held beliefs that are rooted in fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, fear of abandonment, all those things that we have, these stories that we had growing up on when they do this, this is what that means about me. So it's almost like so far, this isn't so much about, well, you're asking, what are you not seeing in the relationship with Joe? It I feel like it's not maybe something that Joe is doing or not doing, but the mindsets, the old stories that are being kind of, it's like they're tinting your glasses, and you might not be aware of, like, do you ever have, like, buy a new appliance and, like, 6 months later you're going, "Why is this like," you're in your head? Yeah, right. It's like, why is it so blurry? And then you realize you didn't take off the little film. And you're like, "Psst, wow, that makes sense." Because it was, for safety during shipping, so it didn't get scratched. It was on there. You're like, well, that makes a lot more sense. I feel like there's this peeling away of something, and it's just making things a little blurry. But as you do it, you're like, ah, there it is. So it's okay. Well, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, because you have the movement of wands and the ace of wands, which does tell us here that when I'm focusing on these expectations of who they're supposed to be and all of that, what we talked about, when I focus on that with this knight of wands and the ace of wands, whatever I focus on is what grows and expands, right? If we were taught growing up, we're taught focus on all that stuff growing up. So we don't know any better because that's what we're, you know, conditioned and you know um, inundated with growing up. If we were taught instead, focus on what we love in life, the gratitude we have for the things, focus on that. That's what grows and expands then, instead of what they're not doing, what I think they're not doing, what I think they're supposed to be doing, but they're not. Because when I'm looking at that little, list of expectations, I'm going, okay, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, they're doing this. I end up focusing, okay, what are they not doing? And when we focus our energy on that, it just spirals down more and more. We're focusing and we get more of not happening instead of when we're grateful for things that we love about what someone is doing and even maybe share it with them. Um, that gets even bigger, but just energetically, even if I didn't share anything, Like if I don't nag him about what you're not doing and blah 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 blah, which we all end up doing, right? Or I'm not praising them for and thanking them for this amazing stuff I love about them. If I'm not doing that, my energy is doing it, is expanding it, because that's what controls our life, right? Let's see what's next here to the Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's all about the Two of Cups. It's the relationship, the joining of the hearts, right? I love how they interpret that. It's an important relationship that you have, and that's what um, relationships are. They're mirrors for us to show us what we want to see about ourselves until we see it. And I know with mine, when my relationships kept on being different tastes of disrespect, but there was a lot of disrespect, which was showing me my disrespect for myself until I saw it, because I would give everything in my life, not respect me, but sacrifice me for whatever they wanted. That definitely was disrespect. And it was mirrored back through people cheating, people kind of using me for the money, for possessions, for home, for trying to fit me in between the important things. All this energy reflecting what I was doing to myself. So it's a good mirror for us to really, look at that, right? Oh, right. Oh, the expectation, right? They haven't said it, but some people, what's their love language, right? Maybe so if our love language is I like to hear that I'm loved, but some people, what are the five languages of love? Being told, receiving gifts, being touched, gifts of service, and there's something else. There's a fifth one. Quality time. Boom, you know them. So, what is their love language? And maybe that's a conversation, right? Um, say, oh, I was, there was this, I forget what it was as a comedian. My lovely, they were talking about, do you guys know what each other's love languages are? And she was like, no, no, he doesn't know mine. And, but I did ask him for, like, I mentioned I love birdhouses. And he brought me a birdhouse, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's your love language is receiving, right?" Like, "Oh my God, it is." And that he remembered it. And he gave me three of them. He actually built them himself. And she's like, "Oh my God." But it's like realizing, what is your love language? How do you like to be shown love to you? Because we all assume we all have the same ones. And of course, by that you know, um, by the love languages that we don't have all the same ones. It all depends on our childhood. Every one of us wants all five, right? But there's two usually that are big for us, right? You don't have the same ones, right? So it's realizing it and going, all right, and sometimes we just need a reminder, um, you know, of things, and just bringing it up and talking about it, like, especially if you know what their love language is and you're like, I know this is your love language and this is like how you like to be shown that you're loved. And so I wanted to do this for you. Might click and go, they're like, oh yeah, what are your love languages? And you're like, well, I like to be told that I'm loved, and I like, this. And then they're like, oh wow. Sometimes people just need a rattle to remind them. But I like the mirroring that's going on here. Let's see what else is coming in here too. We got the movement of pentacles. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles, slow moving. And then the movement of swords, which is a faster moving energy. It's movement of thought and belief, and equal passion and victory that comes in here. So I see here, you know, there's two opposing energies, right? One that moves really slow and one that moves faster. And the slowness, it's like if I'm the fast person that person's slower, that's frustrating for me. If they're a slower person and we're a rush, 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 push, 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 that's irritating to them. And when we realize that we're different and that I'm expecting you to be fast, but that's not what they're expecting. It's the clarity of expectations that, first of all, clarifying it within us. Is it really something that needs to be, or is it just me that is able to release the expectation? But there is that kind of balance in between there, right? There is this balance of, um, you know what? Instead of me focusing on what they're not doing, let me focus on what they are. And the more we especially mention it to someone, because I can imagine a relationship where every day we tell someone, you know what I love about you? What? I love that you know, like let's say my love language is like gift of service or something. It's like, you know what I love about you is when, without me even asking, you mow my lawn for me. And I am so grateful for that. You just do it, and I'm so grateful for that, because you just do it out of, and I love that. It's like it just shows them, wow. And then people want to do it more. They want to do other things because it's the expectations. I remember once as a teenager, I was walking from my bedroom to the kitchen to do the dishes because it was my night to do the dishes. And I was excited that I remembered on my own as a teenager to go do it. And right as I reached it from the living room, my mom said, "Don't forget to do the dishes." It just took the joy away from it out right away. And of course, snotty little teenagers that we are, I'm like, I know I was going to do it anyway, slamming dishes around, but that's the thing, is if we are grateful, well, I love that you remember to do the dishes. I'd be want to do it more, and it would encourage me more instead of thinking that I'm not right. So let's see what else is below the surface here. Yeah, here's the devil card. So this is a lot of that, the shaking and the rattling of our long held beliefs and expectations. So it definitely is a big theme here, and the Four of Pentacles energy with all this as well. So this does have to do with questioning our thoughts and our beliefs that we are taught, that we are defined by the outside world, right? We're all taught this growing up as children, most of us, right? That your worth is determined by your relationships with people, whether it's lovers or friends or family or coworkers or blah, 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 whoever, situations like jobs and education and stuff like that, or things, our possessions, our bank accounts, our bodies. But all those things are unstable. And so when we define ourselves by the outside world, then, we do become, we feel unstable because people change, people walk away, people pass away. So relationships with humans, unstable. Uh, Jobs, all that kind of stuff never stay the same. Situations never stay the same. Things break down, deteriorate, blow up, burn down, stolen. So all of that external world is unstable. Eventually, we turn inward and upward to find the only thing that's stable in this realm, which is the eternal, unconditional love of the higher realms, right? So we get into this foundation of this solidness, and then the outside world changes from a place that's unstable and lacking because we're filling up on the inside and we're anchored on the inside. It becomes stable. It feels balanced. It feels, all of this energy as well. Oh, thank you so much. You'll be spending this week with him and you'll share your love language with him. Here's absolutely. And then to get you a fortune cookie here too. Thank you so much for the tip there. I'm so grateful. Wow. I don't get those often. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we have the well, the source of life here. Beautiful. Card number 1 of the triangles. Let's see what this brings in here. So wells in the native traditions of Britain and Ireland have their roots in the other world. They are gateways between worlds. The water which flows from them offers up otherworldly nourishment, not just physical, but spiritual. Because of that, wells were recognized as sacred, just as they have been by nearly every culture on the planet and throughout every age. These wells and springs, which originated in the other world, would once have been dedicated to sovereignty, the goddess of the land, who bestowed the gifts of the other world. So the gifts of the wells are many. Some were known for their healing powers, others for granting fertility. Magical fish which lived in the wells, salmon or sometimes trout, might appear to those who would come seeking insight and foreknowledge. These fish are credited as granters of uh, IOMAS, which is a form of intuitive knowledge, and wisdom, which is the other world's greatest gift. So this, I love the wisdom that's coming. The message that comes in with this for you says, the water of the well then is the source of life and spiritual wisdom, but the source of life must be cared for. A good well must be tended. If you neglect a well, you're also neglecting the soul of the land. You're neglecting your own soul and what nourishes it. The well card invites you to replenish and renew yourself in the freely given waters of life, but it also asks you to respect and treasure their source. In the spirit of reciprocity, we offer in return our love and our gratitude for all in this world that upholds us. So I love this well of emotion, honoring your emotions, honoring how you want to receive love, realizing that you can give, yourself. And sometimes it's like the mirror, right? Of I want them to tell me they love me. Really, the mirror, in a way, is asking us, I want myself to tell me that I love myself. So a lot of the reflection comes back in here. But I love also this focus on gratitude, right? This wonderful energy of, yeah, grateful for what someone is giving, grateful for what I am giving too, and celebrating that. So I love that. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again. I'm going to give this a love and a like here. Thank you so much for the tip there. I'm very grateful. Let us know how it happens. So many blessings to you. I do have Cash App. I have Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and Square. It's all in the description box of the video. So if ever in the future you want to use Cash App, it is down in the description box. So yeah, feel free to use that in the future if you'd like. Which is all right, Yeah, no problem at all. And I have my email up, so when it comes through, I go back and forth between chat and emails because it all comes through my email, Cash App, PayPal, and all that comes through there. So yeah, but thank you so much. And YouTube allows me to do all this for free. So when they take, I think they take 30%. It feels like 40% sometimes, right? But it also allows me to connect with you all, guys. I don't have to pay except through that. So thank you again so much. I'm so grateful. All righty. So up next, we do have, let me just check a look here. Speaking of Cash Apps here. So thank you. I see, Sean, you sent another one. Let me put you in here into my little list here, and Nelia as well. All right. Whoops. Hold on. I think I might already have that one down here. Yep. Yep. All right. So up next, we do have Sean G. And then we'll jump back to Nelia, and then we jump back to Sean G. And then we just have Debbie O. Just came in here too. All right. So let me grab that here, and we have that on list. All right, so we'll continue down here. Let me take a quick sip here, and we will move forward. All right. Let me just move up here. All right. So Sean, okay, Sean G, let's grab your time step here. Let me do that before, lest I forget. I'll go into it all, and then I'll forget. Get all caught up into the reading here. So let's see here. Let me just look at, see, it was like 6:33. I think you put your first question out here. There you are. Well, I think it might be up here. Sorry, my mouse is moving. Here it is. Whoa, simmer down. It's going all over the place. Stop, stop. Okay, let me click over here. I think it's doing it has a mind of its own. There's your first one. So on your current energies, um, am I on track to live the life I envision for myself by your birthday? All right, let's take a look here. So this is your vision, your expectation of what you want to have by your birthday, right? So we'll take a look here. So based on the current energies, are you going to meet this important goal by your birthday? So we got those, and then what's this underneath here? I feel like we want this one here and this one here. All right. All righty, you got 3 up here and then 4 under the surface. And the bottom of the deck here, you have the Hanged Man here. And the Hanged Man can even see this little, whoops, sorry, it helps if I do it into the camera and not at my computer screen. The little, I like that, the way they interpret it, because it is like something loading. It's taking time. You know how it's like a program that's updating or something. You're like, oh my God, when is this going to do? It does show progress. It does show transformation. Um, but there is like this, I don't want to say it's a pausing energy, but it's a trusting the process energy when it's like, I want this butterfly to, this caterpillar to be transformed in this chrysalis by this date and become a butterfly or else, right? Well, what if it doesn't? Or if we cut it out, it destroys it. It's like there's this kind of an energy of trusting timing a little bit in here that, I want this by my birthday. It's like, well, that's good. It's nice to want, right? But let's see what else comes in here. I feel like they're saying, it's like there's this lesson this year of trusting the timing of things, with the house and PA coming in, all the stuff that it just feels like the learning of why am I um, attaching my happiness maybe or contentment to a time um, in the future. It's like what can't you have in this moment inside of you, or like what in the future that you think you have to wait to have that happen, why can't you experience it now with what you have in the moment, right? It's a really big that happens when we realize, because we're all taught so much, well, contentment, happiness, this goal, this thing, that everything, right? And then we get there and we're like, okay, well, that was fun, now what's next, right? Let's see what these 3 cards are. Going back to your original question, I just feel like all this underlying energy, they just want to use this opportunity while they have the microphone to just bring that up for you. Um, okay, well, we have the 3 of Swords, which is expectations equal disappointment energy. I know. Oh, God. Let's see what else. We have the Movement of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest moving energy, and then the High Priestess, which is an interesting energy. We'll look at that too. So with the current energies, with that date, it feels like here things are moving slower than you're wanting them to, and that you won't meet it by your birth date, right? But the High Priestess card that comes in here, is an energy of, she steps back and connects, of course, to the spirit world, looks behind the veil, looks below the surface. There's just there's something hidden. There's a revealer of the hidden that comes out through this process. And so that's what, like we were talking about with this under, the hanged man below the surface. I feel like what's hidden that comes forward is realizing how much of maybe my worth I'm putting into the future, I'm attaching my worth to an outcome when it doesn't have to be. That's a story we have, and we can be like, you know, it's like whenever we play a game, I've got to get all this stuff done today, so I'm going to give myself, I have to have this done in 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, fun challenge, but if I define it, if I don't, I'm a failure, or it means something about me, then it takes the fun out of it instead of allowing it to be a fun goal to try to reach. But when the fun goes out of it, then it feels like work. And then that's when this expectations turn into disappointments, because instead of it being a fun goal to try to reach, when it becomes tied to my worth, that's when it goes down the poop chute. Let's see what's below the surface here as well. So we have the Innocence of Swords, Page of Swords. There is clarity that comes in through all of this, of course. We have the Three of Wands, which is with new information, going a different direction than you thought you would, than you had planned originally. You do have the Six of Wands, which the new route you take does feel like victory with that Six of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune, which does tell us whatever unfolds is for us. It is the tune of for you. So I feel like there's a different route that you take, and I feel like it has to do with mindset and the energy around this, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to move toward. And so I like, that this is coming up for you. Again, the tune of for you, the fortune, to allow you to release yourself from this pressure, because then you'll enjoy your life and the adventure you're on even more so. But I like that. So that's the answer for that. Let's give you your fortune cookie now too. I feel like they want to give that now. You do have a second one, but this will be the one fortune cookie that we get per session. Let's see what else they bring in here for you, because I feel like there's some mention of things in here regarding this as well. All right. And we have the Sacred Landscape, the Stone Circle. Look, there's a badger. I think it's a badger. Card 14 of the triangle. 14. All right. Our ancestors constructed a surprisingly large number of stone circles throughout Europe. Research suggests that they functioned both as astronomical observatories and as centers for ceremony. These two functions are related to each other. Stone circles represent the ancient belief that celestial objects and their cycles of movement might exert subtle influences on human behavior, as well as on the health and well-being of the land below. Our ancestors believed in an interconnected cosmos in which we were one part of a complex living whole. This card then reminds us of that inner connectivity. The ceremonies which took place at such sacred sites are likely to have been associated with specific times in the cycle of the solar year. Many stone circles are aligned with the position of the sun at equinoxes or solstices. Funny, we have an equinox, the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere, coming up on around September 22nd. When's your birthday? Our ancestors lived in a way which celebrated the cycles and the seasons of the land, of the natural world of which they were a part, and of the living cosmos around them. Interesting, right? It's all about seasons, trusting the seasons. Very interesting. This card emphasizes the need to recognize and honor the cycles and seasons of our own bodies and our own lives. Trust the cycles, honor the cycles, right? The body is also a sacred site. In what ways might you bring yourself into greater attunement with yours? How might you recognize its need for rest at certain times and delight in its strength and energy at others? The body, in a very real sense, is our soulmate. Wow, I love that. Our journey through life depends on it. The body is literally the ground of our being. So, this card invites us to consider that ground as sacred. So, honoring our body as our soulmate, as the ground upon which we live. Isn't that amazing? I love that. But trusting the cycles is what I feel is the big energy of this one, too. Don't be the honey badger. That's funny. Do you remember that commercial from, I think it was from the Super Bowl? There was a sleeping honey badger in the car, and he slammed the door. He's like, and it didn't wake up. And then people on the outside were doing jackhammers or whatever. But it was a commercial for the silence that's within the car, and it didn't wake up. And he was like, "Whew," and then he knocked something over, clang, 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 and the honey badger was like, anyway. So hopefully that helps, Sean. I see you have another one, so we'll circle back around for that eventually here too. All righty. So thank you again for your multiple donations. And then Nelia, we're circling back around for yours too. Let's grab that timestamp here. So here are all your timestamps. And you are right here. So this is the emoji. So thank you for this one. And you want to know, does your ex-husband know about you dating Russ? Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. What are his thoughts about it? Anything else Spirit wants to say? Ooh. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up button. It does help spread the Zen love, and you're part of the love tsunami. So thank you for all of you that have done that. I appreciate that much. All right, let's take a look. Does your ex-husband know about you dating Russ? Got 1 and 2. We'll find out about that. What are his thoughts about it? Well, let's see. Do they have here? I don't feel like they know yet. Let me just show you. Because you got both the High Priestess and the Moon card, which is hidden. The hidden becoming revealed. Both of these cards have an energy of the hidden becoming revealed. Not that you're hiding it from them or anything. You don't care, right? If they find out or not, you're not being secret about it. But I do feel like they will. So I don't feel like they know yet, but we'll step forward based on current energies when they find out. What are their thoughts about it? Because I feel like they will, and they're allowing me to step forward into that. Got underlying energy there, and here, and here. Okay. That's what else they want you to know about it. All right, very good. We do, on the bottom of the deck, we do have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is a positive energy. It's about seeing things from a different perspective and, not choppy waters, but calmer waters, kind of a movement of thought and belief. And so I feel like maybe before they might have reacted a certain way in the past, but where they're at in their life right now, I don't feel like they're, I feel like the underlying energy is, yeah, okay. It's like what they're reminding me of, and maybe they're with someone right now, because like with my parents, my mom was heartbroken. She chose the feelings of being heartbroken with my dad's actions. And then when they divorced, she had carried that. But when she found love and she was remarried in her second marriage, and my dad it was his second marriage too. Um, my dad didn't live in the same state as we did at the time, but my nieces were graduating, and he and his wife came to town to attend the graduation. And they actually, my mom and her second husband had a guest room, and they stayed there and they had fun. They had a blast. My mom didn't have any angst toward him because she had love in her heart. Wasn't jealous. She wasn't whatever because she had her own. Then when she divorced her second husband, it returned for a while. So I feel like what's going on, I feel like they're distracted and they have a different way of looking at things right now, and that's kind of what feels like it's coming in here. But let's see, what do they think about it, when they do find out here? Yeah, the Two of Swords. So there is this, the head and heart, go back and forth, but the Three of Pentacles here, is a unique creative approach with all this. It does feel interesting with this because it feels like their mind is like, I'm okay with this, and blah 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 blah, and but I feel like their heart also, there's a little bit of a rumblings, but I feel like this, maybe this is why they're your ex. They weren't very connected into their emotions. With this Three of Pentacles, I feel like they're really focused on the outside world and their thinking. And so I don't feel like they have a reaction. It's almost like, why do I have heartburn? But it's not heartburn. It's um, some unresolved emotions, that because I feel like they would push down emotions, emotions, emotions. So it's rumbles down below, and they're like, I don't understand, but they don't connect that what's going on is that to that, if that makes sense. Below the surface, what else they want you to know here? We had the Eight of Pentacles, which I like this energy here. The Eight of Pentacles is like when you're with caterpillars and you become a butterfly, and once you get out of the cocoon, those that didn't convert to butterflies can't go where you needed to go. And so I feel like there's this reinforcement not to feel, if there is any guilt that you're carrying, or any feelings of any regrets, anything that like lower vibrational regarding you and your ex, that you're like, you became a butterfly and you couldn't stay with caterpillars anymore. It was important to let them be with caterpillars and you to go pursue a butterfly, because that's what you know have in common with, and they can go places that you go. They can't go where you needed to go. And so that was the importance of them not being in your life anymore. So I feel like that's important to know. You have the Nine of Wands, which is this blocking energy. What's beyond this? Yeah, and the death and rebirth. Yeah. So I feel like all three of these, they wanted me to just do this. 8, 9, and then 10 is endings and beginnings. The death card isn't number 10, but it is that it was part of the process that needed to happen. And that, with the whoever thinks it was their idea for the breakup, it was part of the design. It was that it was to be a stepping stone. It wasn't destined to be your fated person for the rest of your life. You were to learn a lot through it. And I feel like they, in their heart of hearts, they get that below the surface with this too, realizing that it was the best thing for both of you. And I feel like that exists below the surface, though it may not exist in verbal communication to you ever, that they would ever admit that or say that to you. Interesting. So that is what they have for you, Nelia. Hopefully that helps. But it feels very mature, or at least disconnected, where they don't feel bothered by it. They don't realize uh, that they're bothered by it, even though they might be deep in their subconscious because of all those things that they push down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. All right. So Sean G, we are back to you. We are at 140.04. All right. Let's bring this in here. Boom, boom. And then we'll circle back around for your number 3 here after we go to Debbie. Oh, all right. So, Sean, your other one was up here. I saw it. I did. There it is. No, that was for your last one. Where is your other one? So you haven't spoken to V in a while. What's his energy towards you? All right. Let's find out here. Let me just take a quick sip here. All right. So what is V's energy towards you? Uno, dos, tres. These two here. These as well. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Bottom of the deck, we do have the 10 of Pentacles going on here. Is this some sort of relationship false start going on in their life? I feel like they got distracted by a bright, shiny thing. That's funny. A person. Because I feel like there's something here. Or maybe is it a person? Well, it can be. 10 of Pentacles is about abundance in the outside world and distracted by the coin and possession, but it's also a partnership type of energy coming in here. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, Innocence of Swords, Page of Swords. So they have been thinking about you. This is thinking things. And I feel like this little interest that came across their path, it fizzled out. Like I said, it was a false start. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, okay. No, it's not going anywhere. But it has them thinking about you. The Two of Pentacles, bad timing. I'm getting this message that came in here. And I feel like there's always something, as Rosanna Danatana used to say from Saturday Night Live way back in the day. Gilda Radner, I love her. It's always something. It's either we have different love interests, or there's always something that's taking our time and taking us away. Always feels like the timing is never right. Bad timing. That comes in here. Interesting. Let's see what these other cards are. We have the Ace of Wands. So there is that passion, that physical and energetic attraction. And underneath that, we have the Six of Swords here. So again, with this, they're thinking of things differently. And with that Innocence of Swords, I did feel that too, where they're looking at things differently. Because I feel like they've had one false start with someone, but I feel like they've been seeing different people across their path, and they're just like, it's made them see you differently because they're realizing a lot of things that you just naturally have that they don't, kind of energy. So this is, a bit of a difference of energy here. Like they're thinking about you differently. Yeah, the Hanged Man. Here's that your lovely Hanged Man energy. You're like, I hate that bat. It is about transformation and timing and letting things percolate a little bit. So I don't feel like there is action coming forth. Yeah, the Four of Wands energy. There is this joy and celebration and balanced energy that's here. So I feel like they're not moving with those two together on it, but I feel like they've been thinking about you and thinking differently about you, like I said. Eventually here we have the Sky Father and the Temperance as well. Another slow moving card like the Hangman. Well, I tell you, this year, this is going to be your year of learning timing, right? God, gotta let go of time. But there is, I feel like the Sky Father, the Emperor energy, is trying to figure out, what do I want? Not what I think everyone else wants, but let me determine, what is it that I want? Then make a plan and then take action, Aries energy and movement. But I feel like it's taking them time to figure out really what they want and what they don't want. But you're definitely on their mind, and they definitely are seeing you in a even a brighter light. Um, and they're realizing what a more so what a catch, not that you're an animal to be caught, but that the attributes of you that they took for granted and thought, oh yeah, they're like, how unique and that it is. So I like that. So that is what they have for that one, Shanji. And we will circle back around here for your additional one here in a moment. Let's see, I did get. Oh, that one came in before that. So sorry, I missed an email that came in. So we have Debbie O next, and then we'll jump to Maria P for your second one, and then Sean G to yours after that. All right. So, Debbie O, you are up here next. Thank you so much for your donation. And did Rando really mean what he texted you? See email. See email attachments here. So, oh, wow. Okay. And then, whoa. I see your second email here too. Let's see. All right. Ah. All right. Well, let's take a look here. Did he really mean what he texted here? Okay, let's take a look. So the denial, right? I think I read the whole one, unless was there just one text? Whoops, wrong mouse. That doesn't help. I think I just got the same one twice. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, yeah, all right, I got it. Gotcha. All right. So did he really mean what he texted? All right. Got those, and we got these here. All right. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups, which is a lot of emotional energy here, So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of emotion. The 10 of Cups is one of the, those energies of um, more than just kind of friend energy. Let's see what else comes out here. We got the Spirit of Wands, the Four of Wands, not the Four of Wands. The Spirit of Wands is the King of Wands. Is what I was trying to say. King of Wands energy is an energy of trying to figure out what I want, and so this mixed message is going back and forth. I don't feel like they really understood what their energy was. Um, and we got the Eight of Swords, a lot of releasing their expectations and their thoughts and beliefs that used to make them feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted, and the Judgment card, which is about seeing things from a different perspective and a higher perspective. I mean, it feels here that, that they're. I mean, with that 10 of Cups on the bottom, I feel like there was a lot of emotion that was there, and they may not have understood what vibes they were putting off. but they might have had not had intentions of their mind of anything, but their heart was that's that mixed messages, right? Our heart our heart does one thing and sends out vibe energy, and then our mind does another. And if our conscious mind isn't aware of what we're doing with our heart, that's how we can maybe not realize what that we were putting what vibes we were putting off to people, right? So it may not have been his intention, and that's where he's speaking from his mind. But if we're like, all right, now we want to hear from your heart is like, oh my God, yes, I did have so much love for you. Um, so that explains the mixed messages kind of energy that can come in here too, right? Let's see what's below the surface. We've got, again, the Sky Father, the Emperor energy is like that King of Wands. It is, I've been trying to figure out what I do want and what I don't want. And so I feel like because maybe they didn't really know what they did or did not want, that's where again, these mixed messages came in from. The Two of Pentacles. Again, the Two of Pentacles is this two different sides of things. And what else? And the Chariot, the power of choice. Again, this going the, to the this energy of two different things warring inside someone, things that we're consciously aware of and the things that we're unconscious of because it's in our subconscious um, energy here. But of course, you being very watery with all that, very empathic, you will pick up on their heart. Like you have a walkie-talkie to heart energy, and you're like, "Psh, I know, I heard, I am I crazy? I heard this." And they're like, "No, I didn't say anything. It's because the heart in the basement has the walkie-talkie." They're all, "Psh, hey, psh, psh, hey," but their mind is going, What do you mean?" So their mind doesn't could not realize, what's going on there. But it makes sense that they may not um, want to speak from their heart with that. And so it's about allowing that here. Let's see, the sun is setting. Let me close this blind really quick here. Let's see what the fortune cookie brings in here as well. Yeah. Well, and so of course, yeah. Um, and that's okay. It's we don't need to defend our perception and our experience, if it's like I need you to admit it. I need you to do this. I you don't need anything from them. You don't need to try to what was it like, tie him to a chair and put him under a spotlight and go, confess, confess. You can let that go and go, you know what? I don't need validation from them on whether I know what I felt. I know what is here, whether they admit it or not. It's a moot point, right? It's I get to, realize, okay, um, it's all right. I can let this go. And if it's like, um, well, you're destroying the friendship between us or whatever, it's like, well, no, I'm ready to release this friendship anyway, right? Yeah, you got Kalich, protector of the wild, coming in here. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So this is in Irish and Scottish folklore. Uh, sorry, it's Cailleach. I mispronounced it. Is the divine hag, the creator goddess of the land who gives shape to the earth throughout all its long ages. So stories tell us of how she constructed enormous mounds and megaliths in a single night, and of how she shaped the hills and mountains and caused great lakes to form. Like the cycles and seasons of the natural world over which she presides, she renews herself constantly. Wow, this renewal, right? Each year in spring, or even 100 years, or every 100 years, and usually by bathing in a certain body of water. But above all, she is presented as the fierce protector of the earth and the guardian of its balance. She ensured that humans could not take more than the land could give. Hunters had a great respect for her, and if they followed her instructions on which deer to cull and when, she ensured that they were always provided with enough food and pelts. In these troubled times and challenging environmental conditions, we women need to embrace our inner Kalech or Kalak to stand up for the integrity and health of the wild places and creatures of this world, or yourself, right? She is our ally in this work, teaching us that we are the land and the land is us, and reminding us that to grow into an elder is to become strong, as enduring as the beautiful old bones of this earth. So it's important to, even through the troubled times and what you're going through. Yeah, the fear, that's what hurts is, like, our heart doesn't break, right? We just feel the pain we feel in our heart that feels like heartbreak, and the hurting feelings is actually fear. It's something in a situation is igniting a fear within us, and that's why we have that piercing, excuse me, hiccup, like, as I hiccup scared. If you ever are startled by someone, that feeling, that's that feeling in our heart, the prick in our heart. But an emotional monster is what circulates it and keeps it going and going and going. That's why it keeps aching, instead of we getting over realizing what was scaring us. It was just our brother scaring us half to death. And then we realize I don't have anything to fear. We calm down. But an emotional pain, an emotional monster, an emotional belief, we usually don't just, oh, okay. We transform it, and then the pain goes away. So, as we've talked about, right, in our interactions, it is for you to bring up these fears so that you won't be impacted by them anymore, because they've always been running below the surface. The fear of not being enough, all the stuff we feel as humans. We fear not being enough, not having enough, fearing rejection. These things that pop up are for us so that we can see them, but they're always running on autopilot below. And like, they come up, we're like, no, not ready to deal with. They still run, they still impact us, until they finally it comes up and we're like, all right, I've had enough of this. I'm going to process this emotion. I'm going to transform it. And then we don't push it down. We allow ourselves to not feel that way again. So it is it, right? Yeah. And it's all a mirror, right? How are we not loving ourselves the way we are? And that's the mirrors of the outside world. Like when I was cheated on, when my ego had this, I'm being cheated on, and this person's disrespecting me this way, this person's not loving me for who I am this way, this person's trying to fit me in between the important things. All these were mirrors eventually that I saw for myself of how I was disrespecting myself by looking for my worth and my love from outside of me, instead of my self love for myself. I was cheating on myself. I think I talked about that before. And with them, instead of looking for my love from up above. So there is transformative energy that comes in with all this, and realizing, we can ask ourselves, how am I not loving myself? Because I want myself to love me the way I am, but where in me am I not? And then once we realize that, we're like, wow, then our whole world changes too. So hopefully that makes sense. But um, like, to answer your original question, I think we answered that right. I feel like they were mixed, and so But like you said, you don't need that validation from, it's like, all right, this is for me, not for them. They're going to learn their own stuff. But what am I learning through this for me? I can't control what they're thinking, choosing, blah, blah, blah. I can only, return to me on that. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Hang in there. I love that you are bringing it up. It's not just pushing it down and pushing forward, but that you're taking this time to really bring it up and transform it. So I love that. And uh, you want to talk, cry your eyes out to you. Oh, oh. Poor little girl. Boo boo doo boo doo boo. Well, we send you lots of love. Hang in there. It's important. Feel the feels. Let it all out. let the tears fall. It's part of releasing the emotion. That's so much emotion that's been bubbled up for so long, right? All right, my dear. Hang in there. Next, we're returning back to Maria P. Let me put your timestamp out here, Maria. And here's both of your timestamps. You're very welcome, my dear. All right. And then after this, we do circle back around for Shanji as well. All right. So, Maria, thank you for your additional donation. All right. Then it said, with you saying how you thought about her, was that okay with me? Was he okay with you with that? All right. Let's take a look here. All right. And then what's coming for us next week? All right. Based on current energies. Let's see what we have here. And then, so does she know about us? And with you telling him that this ocean he has for her and staying in the house is unhealthy. His thoughts. All right. Let's see what we have here. All right. There we go. Boom. All right. Let's see what we have here. So, with you saying what you said about her, was he okay with that? The Heart of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. He did. He understands. The Queen of Pentacles is like Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. You were nurturing yourself. You were saying, he understands that you were saying what you needed to say for you, and that you were saying it out of, in a way, protection. You were mothering a little bit, which he knows that's coming from a place of love and nurturingness, right? That nurture energy. So, yeah, he felt it was fine. He was like, I get it. This is your mama bear coming out kind of energy. So he understood that, and it didn't upset him with that. What's coming for you guys next week? We have two swords. There are some decisions to make next week. There's a crossroads. So right now, based on the energy, there's still some things that need to unfold, but it does feel like there's decisions that will need to be made next week with that Two of Swords to see what do you want to do, which route are you going to want to go with the more information that you receive through all this as well. Does she know about you guys? We have the Two of Wands energy. Two of Wands energy is plans. I feel like she didn't know about you specifically. I think we talked about that before, right? How when we asked, does anyone know about us? Does he tell anybody about us? He's been keeping it like, I just don't want anyone sticking their nose and meddling in my life. And so I don't feel like she knew about you guys specifically. The plan, she knew the plan, like that they were like here going their separate ways, but I I don't feel like let me see, how is this energy? It's not that she didn't believe it, but I feel like she had hope of that maybe we wouldn't. And something about that it would happen that soon, even though you guys have been hanging around for a year. I just feel like she knew this was the intention, but she didn't think it hadn't sunk in that it was actually going to happen, and then that they were going these directions, even though they haven't been acting like a couple or things for, you know, at least a year, right? Um, so I feel like that's what's coming in here. And then when you talked about you staying there, blah, 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 right? The Nine of Wands. Yeah, they feel here with the Nine of Wands, there is this, it's like I'm trying, I'm trying energy. I'm trying to climb over this wall, but they've been hitting this wall, this resistance over and over and over again, trying to climb over the wall. So I don't feel like with that they were, you know, upset with you or anything. I feel like they agree that, yeah, I know I'm trying to figure out a way to climb over this, but it feels like things keep falling down. I keep trying to climb over it, but then I keep falling off. The fence keeps collapsing. I'm trying to get over thing, but the wall collapses. So I try climbing back up and then more collapses. I try to climb back up. So it's like almost an energy of I'm trying, I really am trying. Even in the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom, which is I'm trying to be independent and trying to get out of everything, but um, I just feel like he just feels like there's so many obstacles that he's been trying to do it. So there is a little bit of I sense a bit of frustration in that they know it and they've been trying and they know they kind of feel like they're letting you down and not moving as fast as you want it to be. And it's not that they haven't been trying, and from their perception, it's just they keep, hitting these walls. I know. Try harder. Sensing your energy, they kind of sense that too. Try harder. But I I feel like that's what they have for you right now. But there are decisions to be made next week, and I feel like now that I feel like she didn't know about you guys, but now she does. I feel like that's part of this. That's why and I don't know if she knows you. Let me see. Does she know about you specifically now? Because he's been keeping it on the down low just because he knew it would, you know, as well. But it's not that, you know, I have the Six of Pentacles. Is that here's those two fishies that are here. I don't feel like I don't feel like she knows like your name and your face and different things like that. But I just feel like she knows that he is hanging with someone, and it's like it's the realization that's hitting, for her. Right. So that's what they have for you, my dear. I know. Tell you what. Tell you what. I'm so glad that I've decided to be a single monk for the rest of my life. And as I say that, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, you guys won't believe I met someone. You're like, ha ha. No. Anyway. All right. Much love to you, my friend. Thank you again for your multiple donations today. All right. So, Sean G, we're circling back around for number 3 here. Let me get to this here and all the timestamps here. There we go. Boom, a boom, a boom. All right. So, Sean, you want to know, are you on track to reach your monthly sales goal before the end of the year? All right. So let's take a look-see at this and see where we're at on track here. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So based on current energies, what can we know about this, please? Okay, thank you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Boom, boom, boom. Anything else? Nope. All right. Okie dokie smoky. Let's see what we have here. Don't feel like we'll look at the bottom of the deck yet. You have the Ace of Pentacles. That's a positive energy. Yay! Right. Excuse me, hiccup. I'm getting hiccups. So of course that's a positive card. That's the coin, that's the abundance, that's, that would be a yes for me here. Let's see what these other three cards are, unless you're like, no, 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 that's enough. Bye. Off we go. Let's see what these three cards. What else they want you to know? Yeah, we have the Two of Swords. So that is the power of story that they're bringing up. The Six of Swords, a change of perspectives. Letting old ways of thinking go to move to new ways of thinking that move from choppy waters to calmer waters. And the Heart of Wands, so the Queen of Wands. You get this card a lot. It's your fiery energy and your energetic focus. So I do feel like they're like, yeah, you definitely, um, based on current energies, you're able to reach these sales goals. But there is, you are, it's like, they're showing me, because they're showing me by the end of the year with this, they're also showing that you're making some decisions and some choices and making some alterations and things. But it's you, your energy, of course, whatever you focus on grows and expands. The more you focus on gratitude, the bigger the outcome is. But I feel like you're also leading, um, some changes. So trust the changes that you're wanting to make as you go along too, because that's what helps you get there. So don't second guess yourself. Allow yourself to trust that intuition, that gut instinct that's coming in, because the Heart of Wands does connect to the spirit world. And when we're like, I don't know which way to go, when I have a decision to make, I close my eyes, open my heart, dial up my eye in the sky, and ask them, which way, show me which way, and boom, you will see a clear way to go along the way here too. So you're not in this alone. I feel like they're saying you have a lot of support behind you from the spirit world. Just, you can ask them for clarity, ask them for, bring information that makes it a no-brainer kind of, you know um, decisions, and they will. You even have the Hermit card here, on the bottom of the deck, which is stepping back and connecting to the spirit world. And the Two of Wands underneath that too, which is your energy. Again, I get to choose what I focus on, and the more I focus on gratitude, and um, it's what helps expand. It helps what draws in the things we're grateful for. But if we focus on needing and wanting energy, we're working against them. So in a way, I feel like they're saying, help us help you by being aware of your energy. We talk about that a lot, so I don't need to, beat a dead horse about, be aware of what you're focusing on. Am I indeed grateful for what is in my life and the success I've had and that I do have? Then that'll bring in more success. If I'm focusing on what is not happening, then of course, yeah, the expectations equal disappointment. I draw in the opposite. So being aware of that is important along your adventure there as well. So that looks good, Sean. Just like I said, I feel like the biggest thing we all can do is just the gratitude, focusing on it. And it's amazing. I love, how you guys ask these questions, and I get all these reminders over and over and over and over again, throughout all the readings. Focus in on gratitude, because I'm human. I have times where, my sessions don't go long like they normally would, and different things like that. And I start to go, oh God, am I drifting away from this? And in those moments, I'm like, oh, this is my reminder. Come back to gratitude. for what I have and what I have had, and I'm just grateful for it. And I release it, and then boom, 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 it comes flooding back in a beautiful way too. Well, very good. I'm glad it makes sense to you. So beautiful. All right. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your multiple donations, and much love to you. All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. We just had hey Anna. Hello, hello. So Anna, let's put your timestamp out here, and I'm pretty sure you're probably putting your question out there, but we'll put this out here. Thank you for your donation. Let's put your timestamp and give that a love. Whoops. There we go. A love and a like there. I think you just did you send something here on the phone? On the phone. Let me see here. What is that? I'm sure you'll pop your question on here in a moment. Like, what? And so we will. Here, you're laughing in disbelief. What was this about? Oops. See if I could see here. Oh, that was something else. Too funny. I can't wait to see what your question is regarding that. And let me see here. While I'm waiting, I will just take a look here because I think we might be able to get to some free readings tonight, unless I get more donations, of course. But let me grab some of these while I have a moment and take a look here. All right, and I got this one here. Whoops. All right. All right. It doesn't look like I have too many free readings out here. I know a lot of people, since I'm not able to get to a lot sometimes during the session. Sometimes I am. But a lot of people have stopped doing free readings a bunch, except on Sundays, because they know I'll come back on for those. So I might be able to get to these here. All right. Well, what I'll do here, I'm going to erase this one here. I'm going to remove your timestamp there, Anna. And I'm going to jump to some free readings. And as soon as you post your question, of course, I will prioritize. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're still telling me the sitch. So let's do here. So Ateshi Singh, we will jump to yours first. And you wanted to know, do you already know your future spouse? Oop, let me put your timestamp out here. So do you already know your future spouse? Let's take a look. Based on current energies. No, I don't feel like you do here with the Emperor and the Devil card. The Emperor is an energy of trying to figure out what I want, what I don't want, and the Devil card is a stepping stone energy. I feel like you only have known stepping stones. But the energy I'm getting here, especially with Aries, energy of the Emperor is someone new. It's the birthing of something brand new. So I feel like the ones you've had with the Capricorn has been teaching you things, letting go of expectations, letting go of things that don't serve you anymore, more so that. And I do feel here with the Sky Father that it's also that you don't have a set like one person that you're going to end up with. Absolutely. It's only, a fated person that, depending on your journey, you'll end up with this person, or this person here. So it's very interesting, that they brought it in that way. But so they're like, you're determining by your choices who you'll end up with. There's like a few different results here, but you don't know them yet. And they're saying, the people that you have been on purpose, for a purpose, to show you what you wanted to learn about yourself coming in there. So that's what they have for you, Teshi. Hopefully that helps. So many blessings to you. All right, Anna. Okay, very good. You're still telling the story, so we'll continue on here. So Brenda, you are up next. Anyone know, is fame destined for AS? Oh, interesting. Here's your timestamp here. So based on current energies, well, destiny, is it part of their fate? Is it part of their destiny where it's going to happen no matter what, right? That's what we're asking here. Is it part of the destiny? Let's see. I don't feel, we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. And the Four of Cups energy is about kind of some emotional stagnancy, because both this combination of energies brings in like this, it's like, if I got fame, it wouldn't bring me what I think it is going to bring me, and it would make me feel eh, because I feel like there's something attached to fame around my worth that when we get it, I don't feel like I think I was supposed to feel. That's the Seven of Pentacles. The fruit doesn't give me what I wanted. Well, there it is, but what else is there? So I don't feel like it's like a destiny thing for them. It doesn't feel like that kind of thing. Kind of feels like it would just be a stepping stone across their life of what, they experience, but it wouldn't be enough. It would end up turning them inward, if they had that. So it feels like more of an experience that they could have that would help them, but it's not like, oh yeah, it's part of the destiny kind of energy that's in there. So that's what we have for that, Brenda. Hopefully that helps. That's all we have here for that at this moment. So thank you again for your question. Right. And then Dijona, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Okay, let's put that out here. Boom, boom. And you want to know whatever comes out. All right. So here we go. All right. Whoops. So you've got the Heart of Wands and the Nine of Swords here. So, the Nine of Swords is the nightmare and insomnia card. It's also expectations, and, it's showing us the fears we have, and kind of how we fear disappointing other people. With the Queen of Wands, there is this energy here about, being aware of, am I focusing on um, the fears, these things that are in there? Because when I do, then it, of course, draws in the things that I'm focusing on. If I'm focusing on lack or fears and those kind of things, then, it draws that towards me. Versus if I focus, as we talk about, on higher vibrational things like joy and laughter and play and gratitude and unconditional love, I draw on things that match that. So this Queen of Wands is an energy of, I am the one initiating and drawing things in. It's a good just reminder of, if it feels like, why are these things coming into my life? Oh, wait, I'm the one that draws things in. And so if I want to change what's coming in for me, then I can change that. There's no right or wrong. choices. There's just different choices with different outcomes and different experiences. But this energy does come in here just as a gentle reminder. I feel like they're telling you this because you're entering a period of time, which you do from time to time, where the manifestation energy you have will draw things in faster and bigger and more extreme too. So I feel like they're saying you're entering a period to be really aware of what you're drawing in because you're about to go into, amplification mode. So I like that message for you. It's more of a public service message for you on awareness and preparation for something that's coming, because you can focus on gratitude and get a bunch of that come in. Or if we're focusing on fear, we'll get a bunch of that come in too. So just something to be aware of there. All right. So that is what we have for you, Dejona. So many blessings to you. All right. So we have your questions out here, Anna. All right. So thank you for your donation. Let's grab your timestamp. We'll put this one as your timestamp, since now I will be able to pull cards for your questions. There we go. So thank you again for that. All right. So in short, you met over fruit snacks last Tuesday, 2 days after your initial meeting, and gave you a package of fruit snacks. When he gave them to me is when he asked me to the concert. Oh, fast forward at tonight, high school football game. Package of fruit snacks literally fell straight out of the sky and landed on the bench directly in front of me. The people around me were just as shocked as I was. So much so the person next to me, who I don't know, said it's like a portal opened up and dropped them right here. Several of us laughed about it. I'm still in awe about the situation. Seriously, the way they fell straight down and landed exactly on that spot. Well, to be honest, you don't know even my words for it. Is this a random event? Uh, I love that first sentence, but honestly, I don't. I was just being polite. The first because of the first I gave you. Yeah. That's funny. Okay. So let's take a look here. Is this random? I don't think anything's ever random in our lives, but let's take a look here. Is this a random event? And uh, what's the why what is the message? What is the message uh, about this? Right. Let's take a look here. All right, that's what they want. All right. So was this a random event? We got 6 and 6, 6 of wands, 6 of cups. When 2 6s come out, it is an energy of flow and path, and it basically means no, it's not random. It means it's part of the adventure. It's part of the path that comes in here, right? Right, right. Like Doctor Strange. Whoa. But so it definitely is happening for a purpose here. Let's see what this is here. Yeah, it's the movement of wands. Here's the portal. You're a fox walking through a portal now. Knight of wands is movement of energy. We have the spirit of cups, the king of cups, a balance of head and heart, and the 3 of wands, a change of direction that comes in here too, right? So, and we even have the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of pentacles, which is timing and this balancing energy of here, the stop and go, the green and the red. I like that energy, right? Even underneath that, the heart of swords, the queen of swords, which you often get, right? There you are. And the earth mother and the 2 of cups. That's hilarious. That all of this is bringing up past cards of what come up in other readings for others. So, what is this balancing energy? What is this about of balance of energy and change of energy, change of focus? Um, it's interesting that, with you sharing, I told them I love fruit snacks, but in all honesty, I don't. I was just being polite when he offered them, which is, you know, it is something. What are we afraid of, right? I feel like there's, it's movement of energy. It is something just to understand that from the get-go, just being true to yourself, because this King of Cups and with the Queen of Swords, this is about understanding the perfect compatible person. I'll be able to share whatever I want with them, right? Like if they're like, "Hey, I have some fruit snacks," you're like, "Oh, that's okay, thank you." Um, it's okay to say, right? No. In a nice way, right? That you can do that and that, but I fear if I tell them and hurt their feelings that, you know, um, it's just there's something here about that that really stood out to me. I think it is hilarious that it's fallen down in there, but it's like the very thing that I didn't like about it, but I wouldn't tell them. Why wouldn't we tell them? And I feel like that it fell down as a sign to really question, what am I afraid of? And what else would I be afraid to say? Um, and I want them to be honest with me. So I want to be honest with others. And so I like this kind of just kind of funny, ha, you know, energy here. But there's something more below the surface with it too, because I feel like, there's a good balance between head and heart, but, it's I want to be kind of honest with um, what I say, and I like that. Be honest with myself and be honest with others. But I feel like it is on purpose here. I don't feel like it's a sign of, oh, I'm supposed to reach out to them. I feel like it's more of a reflection sign from spirit because it's not a coincidence that it was one of the things that I wasn't honest with them about. And it's like a mirror. What am I not being honest about myself? And why was I afraid to just tell them that I didn't want something? Um, I didn't want that to be a deal breaker, or what is the fear that's below the surface? As everything is, it's always a mirror showing us what we want to see about ourselves, right? Let's see if this fortune cookie brings us any more clarity in there too. Yeah, you agree. Not your need to reach out. So let's see. Look here. What else? All right. Finding the path, the forest. Number 5 of the triangles. So, the forests of northern European fairy tales are dark, dangerous places, abundant with disconcerting shadows and populated by tightly packed trees. They represent a world beyond the village, the community, an other world steeped in myth and magic, which lies outside of normal human experience. like like fruit bags falling out of the sky. Usually the dark wood is the home of the witches and the monsters, personifying all the fears of the collective unconscious. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. I would say that to anyone, just general politeness, not out of fear, more like hostility. Freudian slip, fear of hostility. When you enter the forest, you're accepting the inevitability of transformation. Something is going to change. Something may be lost, but something, if you embark on the journey with a true heart and a willingness to learn, will always be gained. This card invites you to trust in the bone deep alchemy of metamorphosis and to take the plunge into the unknown. Once you find yourself caught up in the formidable entanglements of the forest, it's not always clear, especially when choices have to be made, which path you should take. Often, it's the overgrown path, the one which looks to be the darkest, the least promising, which will lead you to what you're looking for. And sometimes there's no obvious path at all, and you're forced to forge your own way through the trees. The message that kind of comes in with all this here says, even in the loneliest of forests, though, there are allies and helpers to be found if you're paying attention. But be like Welch snacks falling from the sky. But be sure to look closely and don't jump to the obvious conclusions. A wolf isn't always going to eat you, and the old woman carrying her basket of berries isn't always a witch. Treasure the tiniest traces of light, because even in the darkest forest, there's hope to be found. Wow. I like this energy of, you know, just reflection on this. And I know you're saying it at a hospitality, it's like saying, "Oh, I like these." It's like, but it's also about, you know, just a little, it's like a little, just a funny reminder of, and I feel like it's, if you're willing to learn and look into the fears that are there, that we do tell people, we go along. Hospitality um doesn't seem like that's what this is, right? When we say, "Oh, thank you, I like these," what are we afraid of? What, why, if you don't want them and you don't like them, why accept them? And I feel like that's something deeper. It's like a little, it's like that's the emoji. Your little snack bags are the emoji of, I can say no to things I don't want. And and if someone chooses to have hurt feelings over something, that's their choice. I don't have to do it like when I did the no, it's like, "No!" It's like, "No, thank you. Thank you, though. Thank you for the thought, but, yeah, I'm not really into the fruit thingy." And, uh, learning our power of no is so empowering, right? That's what I feel they have for you right now. So that's what we got on it. I love that. Too funny. You get such the fun, interesting things like the dragonfly hitting you and these messages that come through, like, obvious, like, "Hey." You're like, "Whoa." So, too funny. I like that. All right. So that is what they have for you. And look, oops, we had another one come through here. All right. So Sean G, thank you for your additional donation via Z Cash App. Let's grab your additional timestamp here. Right. I mean, I'll remember that the rest of my life too, Anna. The dragonfly, because they said you're gonna be visited by a dragonfly, and sure enough, not visited, but assaulted. All right, let's see here. Here it is right here. So, all right, Shanji, thank you for your multiple donations here. We are on to Kay's thoughts and feelings. All right. So let's take a look here. On your butt, I know. All right. So, all right, Sean. So, what are Kay's thoughts and feelings on you? All right, let's take a look here. Thoughts, feelings, and then why are they so inconsistent? If I say something, how will he react? All right. Let's take a look here and see what we got going on here. All right, we'll wait on this. I feel like this energy is more answering this from the bottom of the deck, is what they're saying. So we'll scooch it over here. All right. So, thoughts on you. We got the 10 of Wands. And here's the inconsistency too. Well, it's like starting off here. 10 of Wands has two meanings. It can mean abundance. Look at the harvest. Look at how much you're getting. Also can represent burden. Um, and uh, energy. So I feel like they go back and forth with these, this is the thoughts, which is the brain, which is where the fears, kind of exist, that come in here, right? And there is this bit of this, like, they're like, wow, they recognize a lot of who you are and what you bring in, and this, all this passionate energy and attraction they have towards you. But then there's this fear of expectations of not living up to things, and that in their mind, so this, the whole thing about expectations, right, is we have them all from our childhood, um, from in the womb up to 7 years old emotionally, from 7 to 14 mentally. And it's already all there before we even meet anyone. We have a loaded expectations list, and we think everyone has these expectations on us because we have all these on them. And this is where that burden feeling comes in, right? So they're like, wow, look at this, but oh, but all this, I don't know if I can achieve all this. No one can. It's the expectation list we all have is unachievable. That's why when we have expectations, it sucks life out of stuff, because we can't live up to the expectations we have on ourselves from growing up, and no one else can either. But that's the whole thing, is when that's what keeps us from acting. It's like, look at that, but oh God, that, and so they kind of go back and forth in their mind with that. Let's see what's on their heart, emotions. Ace of Pentacles. So they do see this as an opportunity, um, something new. And this is like, you're unique with this Ace of Pentacles energy that I'm feeling. They, like, their heart is like, you're unlike anyone they've ever met before, which also scares the crap out of their brain, because they're like, I don't know if I can, like, meet the expectations of, because I don't know what they all are, because it's like you're a new creature, like you're like a platypus. What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't even know what they eat. Not that you look odd or anything like that. Just, you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm putting out that, right? So I feel like, there is this, interest, and but it's, the heart is like, wow, this is a unique, intriguing individual. The heart is just like, wow, and the brain is like, yeah, I agree, but I don't know. Are we going to be able to do all this? Right? You get it? Okay, good. um, so let's see here. What is the inconsistency? Why are they inconsistent? Yeah, the Five of Wands, conflicted. They are conflicted. So I definitely understand that that's the battle between the head and the heart. When the heart has its way, it's like, yeah, let's go. And then the mind is like, oh, no, 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 no. So that's why it depends on who's in charge, right? We've got this, when the heart is doing it, it's this. When the mind's doing it, it's that, right? And that's that Five of Wands. Interesting. There's also the Fool card along with it, which is the first card in the major arcana. And then when I said that we've got the card on the bottom of the deck, is also the Strength card, Leo energy, this lion energy. And this is that not wanting to be caged, not wanting to be, you know, having these expectations feel like it's limiting them and constricting them. This Fool card is, I want an adventure without all of that. But it's not like you are superimposing a lot of your expectations on them. They already have all those themselves. And so that's where the conflict comes in, like I was saying. So that just reinforces this, energy of where the inconsistencies come from, right? And it's interesting. I'll see what his reaction is here based on current energies, right? But you really like him. You wish he'd lighten up. That's an expectation, right? So if you say something to them about, you're not being how I want you to be, that's exactly what they're afraid of, right? When we're telling someone, you're not acting the way I want you to act. You're not saying the things I want you to say. I don't like your silence. I don't like what you're not doing. Those those energies are expectations, right? Those are the things that because we're trying to control who they are, and that's exactly what their brain is afraid of. They already think it in their brain, but when we give them proof, the brain goes, see, we're not going to be able to live up to them. We're already disappointing them, and that just sends someone in the other direction, right? That's what we all like. We don't want someone to say, "Hey, Sean, I just want to let you know that you are too lightened up. You need to be more serious." You're like, "What?" That's not gonna draw you closer to them, right? That's gonna be, "Well, let me tell you about you, what you're not bringing in," right? Yeah. Well, let's see what his reaction would be if you do this. You got the Spirit of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. Their reaction here, I feel like they would not like because the Spirit of Wands, the King of Wands, they can control their fire. The Seven of Pentacles, they're a very patient person, but I don't feel like it would change anything with this energy. They're like, uh-huh, okay, I hear you. What are you gonna do about it? Well, we'll see. That's the energy that comes in. You're like, ah. So what do we do? What do we do when if someone keeps ghosting us and you just want to hang out, um, then what do you do? Well, what I do is I don't focus on what they're not doing or what they're doing that I don't like, because what does that do? When we've been talking about all the energy focus, right? So when I focus on they're not contacting me the way I want them to contact me, they're not hanging out with me the amount of time I want to hang out with them. When I focus my energy on that, I get more of them not hanging out with me. I get more of them ghosting me, right? Sitting duck. Instead, you do the opposite, right? We focus on gratitude to the creator, my energy going, I loved when we hung out and did this. I really enjoyed that. And I love this and I love the interactions we do have. And when I focus on that, then that expands and I draw in more, right? I draw in more things that match that. And maybe it's not them. Maybe the creator brings in someone that does it more often. But when we have gratitude for what we enjoy, we invite more of that. When I focus on what I don't like, I get more of that, right? I think I talk about the donut shop. Walking into a donut shop, pointing out all the things that I hate, I get a dozen of those donuts. When I point out of all the things I love, I get more of that. And rather than telling someone what they're not doing, I like positive reinforcement. So when I want to hang out with someone, I can go, "Hey, remember when we did that and we had that? I love that. That was so much fun. And when you did this and did that, it was so much fun. But hey, if you want to hang out, let me know." And then they're like, "Well, you really enjoyed that," instead of like, ugh, because if we have expectations, we feel like we have to do so much just to get up to zero. But when we're telling people that what we enjoy about them and the fun we had with them, then they're like, "Oh, I want to do more of that." It invites it energetically. And from a human standpoint, you're going to get more from me telling me what you love about me than what you don't. You tell me you don't like something about me, I'm gone. I'm like, well, then why don't you go find someone who does, give you what you want, right? But our energy is what draws stuff in as well. Yeah, that's passive aggressive. Or they will take it as passive aggressive uh, because yeah, it's like, "You seem busy." That's you seem what's underneath that is, "You seem too busy, um, and I'm not important enough for you, uh, So just let me know when you can get together for real. There's a lot of passive aggressiveness in that, right? When really it's like that's going to bring that energy of pushing them away, right? Instead of like, you know what? Um, yeah, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, which that's the expectations equal disappointment, right? But when you start celebrating who they are and what they have brought in, then you get more, right? You get more of that energy. So, yeah. Well, like I kind of mentioned, say, yeah, you can just go, like if you feel you need to respond to something, if he's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get together, say, no worries. I loved when we got together and we did that stuff. So, just let me know. I would love to, have the fun that we did when we did that, like we have so much fun. So yeah, you know, but if you have energy of expectations, that's what's pushing them away, you know. So try, maybe not even feel like you have to say anything. Change your energy and see what that does, really sincerely focus on, I love when we got together and doing this, and I release them from all my expectations. And that's the thing with everything really, because when I have expectations around work or relationships or projects or whatever it may be, that's what I'm pushing away, those things, instead of gratitude for what I have, because all that is lack energy, right? When I feel I'm not getting what I should have right now, should is an expectation word. Should, supposed to, need to, have to, musts, oughta. These words always pop up for me because it's the work I did around my expectations. They're little indicators when I'm going, well, they should. As soon as it comes on my mouth, I'm like, that's an expectation. Let me release that. Is that really true? They should? No, don't shit on yourself, right? I'm going to celebrate what is in my life, and then I get more of what I celebrate. And that energy is fun. But we experience it. There's no right or wrong choices, just different choices, right? With different outcomes and different experiences, right? All right. Yeah, you can do whatever you'd like there, Sean. uh, that probably won't get you the results you're looking for, because telling them you're ghosting me is pretty much telling them, you know, uh, yeah. So I feel like I've given you a lot of different things there, so we'll let it lie at that there. All right. Let's see here. Let me look at timestamps here. Okay. I think you might be a little behind in listening too, because I feel like I'm just telling you things, but so I feel like you'll catch up here in a moment and go, oh, all right. You are very welcome, Sean. Many blessings to you. Thank you again. Enjoy these adventures with the alphabet. I know. All right. So Anna, we're circling back around here. Thank you for your additional donation. And then after that, we will have Delcy Joy. Will be up after that. Thank you for your CashApp. All right. So let's grab your timestamps here just to put them out here. All right. And let me erase this. My goodness, what was all that? All right. So, Anna, let's give that a love and a like. Thank you for the additional donation. So, when the fruit snacks landed, the rushing thought was he was reflecting on the conversation he had about his mom. You thought it was like an indication um, that GR was reflecting on that. And that was your indication that he did that. So, I didn't get the nudge to contact him, nor did I sense he's going to contact me this week reading. What I heard in my head about this reflection, was that right? Okay, let's see here. So was he thinking about the conversations and all that? Was that an indication of like a ping? Hey, they're thinking about your conversation. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. We have the Sun card here. We've got the Heart of Cups, so the same card we got before, and the Temperance, the balancing, patience energy here. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Four of Swords as well, which is about resting on the higher truths and releasing of expectations here. But the Sun card, I don't feel like this is them reflecting, because it's coming back to this balancing energy that we got on your first the first reading that we did, right? And the Sun card, as soon as I saw that, I heard, because that part of the Sun card is reflection on the inner child and the balancing energy that this is bringing in for you, because you got the Queen of Swords, the Heart of Cups, energy that's here. I'm sorry, the Heart of Cups is not, you had the King of Cups on the other one. The Heart of Cups energy is the, like, the Queen of Cups, which has to do, um, the subconscious, the energy that's below the surface. Because with that Sun card, that is inner child. That is, pointing us to something on the inside. It's like this message, focus inward to bring this in. Um, Whatever feelings you were feeling during your all these interactions with him are pointing you inward. And I feel like the, the, um, there is something to do with that bag representing, it's like a surface level thing, but it's like pointing me to being true to me in all aspects of, like, what won't I share with someone if I'm afraid. Not, it's not afraid, but it is a fear that we all humans have of, if I do this, what kind of repercussion will I get if I deny something? And it can even go back to childhood. It could be something that's just, it's maybe not a, um, specifically about them, but earlier in our lives, when it's like the one time that, like, someone offered me a sweet that I didn't like, and then they're like, "Well, fine, you can just do without," and they never offered me sweets again, just because I was like, "I don't like that, but I like those." "Well, too bad. If you want this, you don't get any," and it's like, whoa, if there's it would be like that kind of scenario that's playing in my head. But I just feel like this is all pointing inward, 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 you know, with it. I don't feel like it was that. So, that's the kind of energy. I just feel like this is what they're pointing you to, because the Heart of Cups, the Queen of Cups, is like the high priestess who steps back, dives deep into the understanding of their own emotions and what's going on below the surface. So I feel like it's this message of pointing inward. Because when they make it really, really obvious like that, I feel like it is pointing that inward. But I know I wanted it to be something else, but they keep pointing back to that. So I've got to go with that. I know. You are very welcome. And thank you for your additional donation. I appreciate that. All righty. So many blessings, my dear. What else is going to unfold for you? Look out. Too funny. All right. Very good. All right. Delcy Joy, you are up. Thank you so much for your donation. Here is your timestamp. And so, a recent health crisis. Oh, and hospitalization. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, those yours up there. So, what's the energy around your healing and recovery? All right. Yep, no problem. You'll always have your timestamp here. Of course, disclaimer, I'm not a licensed medical professional. Disclaimer is in the description box of the video. Tarot is for fun and entertainment purposes. And ultimately, of course, everyone should seek professional individuals in making important life decisions. So, disclaimer said, check, check. We have to say that here in the United States. All right. So let's take a look. What is the energy around your healing and recovery? What do they want you to know here? All right. These here. and under the surface here. All right. Or below the bottom of the deck. All right. What do we got here? Well, we do on the bottom of the deck, you do have the Temperance card, which is a good card. There's a balancing energy that comes in with this. There's a temperament, right? It's like slowness and having a balance, bringing balance into our life. And I feel like that's an important piece that will be a part of your recovery is maintaining balance. But it also is alchemy. It's like 2 cups, you put a base metal in one and you add magic, and as it goes back and forth, it's a slow progression that changes into gold suddenly. So I feel like there will be slow progression in the beginning, but you'll start to see, um, improvement that starts to click faster. So just allow the balancing of things, I feel, is an important underlying energy there. Then you have the Spirit of Pentacles. You've got the King of Pentacles. That's a good sign. That's, abundance and fullness in the outside world, doing with the physical body. So your physical health and your physical recovery seems to, it's one of the most abundant cards. So it is a sign of victory. It is a sign of success and um, eventual recovery, abundance in the outside world. You have the Eight of Pentacles, another pentacle in the outside world, which is about when you put in the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, doing the things that need to be done, following the any medications, any if there's PT or exercises or whatever, it's doing the things we need to do to help our bodies, and so it's doing the things you do see the result. It is transformation that happens, and so another positive card that's coming in here regarding it. You also have the Justice card. Oh my gosh, so you've got you know 2 cards that look a lot alike with balanced scales on there. So in case I didn't read the bottom of the deck, they did bring in the Justice card, which is again, uh, Libra balancing energy. But this one's a little different than the Temperance in that with that Ace of Swords, it's about looking higher, seeing things from a higher perspective to cut away fears, like in a way, getting stress more and more out of our life, questioning our fears, doing some releasing of old thoughts and beliefs that don't serve us anymore, too. Um, It's not really talking about emotional, but it can be tied to that. I like whenever I have anything going on with my body, just to kind of I have I think maybe if we talked about Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. If you don't have that book, if you Google like emotional and spiritual reasons for and put the symptoms, or if there's a specific diagnosis, you can put that and just see what resonates and see if there's something that if I release this helps bring balance back to my life. Because it with these balancing cards, it feels like there might have been something that was out of balance, that our body's going whoop whoop, hey 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 hey, coming in here within it. So you know even if it's like an injury or something, it's like, why did I injure my back? It's because I feel unsupported. Why did I hurt my leg? It's because I don't feel like I am able to walk my path, walk what I want. Why did I have laryngitis? Because I'm not being able to speak my truth. There's different things that come in, that can be at the root of it too. So I feel like there's that helps with recovery because it has affirmations. You have it somewhere. So if you find it, you can look that up and see what affirmations are. But even just Googling it, if you can't, like, I don't have time to go look for it. If you just Google it or do a search for it, AI will give you the stuff now, right? And Google, I love it. They're just like, they bring in all this information and organize it. And then let's see what else we have here. Yeah, Six of Wands, another victory and equal energy and balanced energy that comes out here. So I like the energies that are coming in of balance and movement and the putting in the work, you get the reward from it. So it does feel like it will. Um, everything happens for us, not to us. So there's a reason why sometimes we need forced R&R, because I know I am a recovering out of balancer. You guys know I go away and I do too much, and then I have to backtrack and go, oh my gosh, I got sick, and um, I have forced R&R in my own life from time to time, and trying to maintain balance is always my challenge. And we know, you guys get to witness it with me. So hopefully that helps. Oh, let's get your fortune cookie. You also get from the Rooted Woman Oracle. Let's see what else comes in here for you here. So what else for Delcy? Okay, this one here. And you have Standing on the Edge. It's called Cliff in the Storm. Let's see what we have here. Number 12 of the triangles. So, for most of us, there are many times during our lives when we feel that we're on a cliff edge, when we're caught in the midst of a crisis or standing on the brink of a major change. Will we try to hold tight to keep all the pieces of our disintegrating life together? Or will we close our eyes, trust in the story that's unfolding, and let ourselves fall? We conceive the cliff edge as a place of terror or a place of opportunity. This card invites us to consider the ways in which we might transform our fear into a sense of evolving possibility. Sometimes we're drawn to do certain things, to take certain steps, in spite of our fear of the consequences. But sometimes the situation we're facing requires even more of us. We're asked to actively embrace our fear and to take certain steps precisely because we're afraid. The cliff card then urges us to confront any fearful situation that we might be facing with our eyes wide open. What would happen if we recognized our fear and explored all the ways in which that fear was holding us back from the possibility of a more fulfilling life? What would happen if we took the step over the cliff edge because it scares us? That's figurative, just everyone. Don't literally step off a cliff. Facing our fear is an opportunity for growth, and if we can face it with a sense of purpose, we'll feel that we're more in control of our own falling. And as a consequence, we'll become stronger and more ready to face the inevitable challenges we'll meet along the path. Wow, I like that. So, what fears is this bringing up for us to face, right? Face it with our eyes wide open. So, hopefully that helps a little bit there, Delcy. We send you lots of love for quick and fast recovery according to your higher self's will for your adventure. We wouldn't want to interfere. So we send you lots of love to surround you. So many blessings. Thank you again for your donation. And hopefully that message helped a little. All right. So many blessings to you. Let's see here. I think I just have 3 more free readings here. Let me just make sure I didn't skip anyone as I was flying down the chat here. So we've got, there's Alicia. I don't think anyone else came in after that, right? Okay. Yep. So I don't have, I just have 3 left. So I know I'm past my 3-hour mark just by 10 minutes. So, but since I only have 3 left, I'm going to complete these since they're smaller readings, and then we'll have completed all the readings tonight. So, Ashish Balkaran, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Boom. You want to move to a different country. Will you have opportunities that will take you overseas? All right, based on current energies, is your path ahead include overseas opportunities? um, I feel like they definitely there's possibilities of that here because the judgment card is like following your calling. So following the calling of your heart, it's like your higher self is drawing you to see things from a different perspective, to draw you into something that's more fulfilling for your heart rather than your brain, right? So following your heart and the Eight of Swords is your brain energy of letting go of some long-held thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that would make you feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted. These would be limiting beliefs of, well, I couldn't do that. Well, that's not how that works. It's like getting out of your head and following your heart, following possibilities and going, you know what? I know for all of these friends of mine that tried it they weren't able to get there, but I'm going to try it. And boom, you're following your heart. And look, it opens up. Something changed. You're able to go do it, and they weren't able to. Reminding me of I was working for this company, and my partner at the time said, "Hey, we're going to go apply at this place with three of my other friends. So you should apply too. It's a great company and blah, 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 blah. And you start this and it looked really good." And so I went and applied. They all applied. I got it and they didn't. It's that kind of thing. They're like, "Oh, you can't get in there." And oh, I got in. No, no problem, and they're like, "What?" And so I feel like that's the kind of change of mindset is let go of restricting the how it has to happen from your heart. Go, creator, I would really love an opportunity to work overseas, and this is what my heart would love to do. It's not something I think I'm supposed to do, it's what I want to do, and I give it to you. You're going to bring me the perfect opportunities and the perfect timing and the perfect way, and just have that gratitude going. I'm excited. I know I can find something overseas, and then allow it to unfold. Just focus on gratitude, not on fears or need or want, because that's all lack energy that pushes it further away. But if you do that, you definitely have the opportunity to do that. And I feel like, I mean, we're kind of getting close to the end of this year, but I feel like it's within a year, like from this time to next year, that you could definitely do that. Just trust the timing with it all. All right. So that's what they have for you, Ashish. Many blessings. All right, Tanya Hikes, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. And you want a general reading? Absolutely. Let's take a look here. So, what do we have for Tanya, please? All right, we've got this. We've got this. All right. Wow, you big shaking and rattling. And look at these two skulls. Got the Devil card and the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is nightmare and insomnia card. And the Devil card is both of these are energies of shaking my expectations, questioning these long held thoughts and beliefs and stories of how things are supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and must be. And I feel like they're saying here that if you've been having your cage rattled a little bit, having some conflicts and some triggers come up, that they are for you. And this is the shadow. This is our working for us to bring things that are already running on autopilot below the scenes. We just don't realize that they're there until these things whoosh, you pop up in front of our face and go, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was there." And in the past, we might have gone, "I know, come back later." It's like snooze that. No, I don't have time for that right now. Nope, I don't have time for that. Now it's like, I'm here and I'm for you to, be able to release this so it won't be impacting you anymore. And so just be aware of it, that it's for you. It's not something that's a punishment or being done to you, but the conflict that rises up is to offer you freedom from it instead. So hopefully that helps. And that's what they have for you right now, Tanya. So many blessings to you. All right. And then lastly but not leastly, we have Alicia. Let's grab your timestamp here. So Alicia, your crush D currently for you in contact. So let's take a look here. What is your crush's current feelings towards you? All right, we got this one, and they want this one here. All right. Well, there is with the Ace of Wands, there's like attraction energy there. It's a physical attraction, energetic attraction. The Five of Cups, they're a bit with the Five of Cups, that's the emotional, suit. And the Five of Cups is an energy of kind of sorrow, kind of feeling low. I don't feel like that their heart is in a place to feel emotion. So they might have gone through a heartbreak or several before, where they're more apt with the Ace of Wands to express themselves through passion, but not through emotion. I don't feel like they have that to offer because it's protected and they don't want to allow their heart to feel because there's so much pain that they've just pushed down and go, I'm not feeling any of this. So I have to unplug my emotions. If I plug back in my emotions, I'm going to feel all that pain. So they keep it unplugged, but they can have passion. They can have motion, not emotion, but motion. And I can feel like that's where they're at right now. They're not in a, like, as they say, emotionally unavailable. But they have passion, like, hey, um, we can go do things and have action in that. But I don't feel like they have that ability to give the emotional place. Kind of feel like there's this, they realize that wouldn't be enough for you. And I feel like that's why they're not really acting out a lot towards people. It feels like they're more keeping their emotions to themselves and just trying to keep themselves busy more so. So that's where they're at in their life right now. I don't feel like they're like actively trying to transform their emotional state right now. Again, I just feel like they're being super busy, trying to keep themselves distracted, if that makes sense. So that's what they got you right now, Alicia. So I know. The heart crushes on who they want. I know. I get it. It just doesn't feel like they have that capacity to give you any of that back, right? At least right now in their life. So, all right, that's what they have, my dear. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for tonight. I'm going to sign off. I'll be back tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And thank you guys again so much for all the thumbs up, for all the love and all the support. I'm so grateful. And of course, as we're on this wonderful adventure that we're on as humans, remember every second of every day of our lives, we truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until we see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. Remember, have some fun. This is a playground. Go play. And I'll talk to you soon. Much love.